Hi, dark skin lover girl. Hi, it's me, XOXO.
Damn.
Good morning. Well, afternoon, maybe, depending on where you are. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Christine. Hi, user. A bunch of numbers. Hi, Godwin. Hi, Ari. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hi, Scar. Hi, Pearl. Hello, hello. I know I typically am not live on Saturdays. Hi, Free. But hi, Chris. But I was traveling on my typical live day, and I just wasn't gonna pretend like I wasn't tired and get on live. Hi, Fanatic. So I'm here today. Hi, hello. I feel like I'm gonna say your name wrong. Jermira. If I said it wrong, please correct me phonetically. I like to say y'all's names correctly. Good morning, good afternoon, welcome in, depending on where you are. It's morning, maybe afternoon. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the reposts, thank you for the shares. Hi, Kayla, hi, Kay. Welcome in. Thank you, Chris. Hi, Shay. Hello, hello. Hi, Cynthia. How have y'all been? How has your week been? Oh, it's nighttime in South Africa. Well, good evening. That's like the thing that I think I need to like figure out is like, I know that I have people that watch literally all over the world, and I don't always, like, I'm not always cognizant of what time of day it is where y'all are. And so, hi, EJ. And so I be on here and not realizing it's like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. Hi, Amina. Yeah, the week did go by fast, Jennifer. I ended up traveling for like 3 days. I just got home yesterday. So yeah, it was a long but short week at the same time. Hi, Fatima. Hello. Hi, welcome in all my subscribers. Welcome in. I do have things that I want to chat about, but today I am doing viewer wishes as well. Hi, AS. Hello. Welcome in. So I do have viewer wishes today too, where if y'all have particular things you want me to talk about, I certainly will. And then if you want to hop in the box with me for 15 minutes and just you and I chat, I certainly will do that. And then obviously we can add time for me to be on live. Hi, Gay. Hi, Jennifer, Kobina. Thank you all so much for the likes. That helps to push us out. Thank you. We're already at over 1K and I've only been on for like 4 minutes. You're trying to a personal TikTok ban during the week. So, Christine, so typically I would go live on Sundays. I would go live on Tuesdays and I would go live on, Fridays, but I was traveling on 2 of my days. Do I have a link to my Patreon? You're scared to give TikTok your money. Girl, I hear you. I don't have a link to my Patreon, but like if you want me to do one of the viewer wishes, I can tell you what those convert to, and you can send it like on my page. There's a link to my Cash App. If you want to send it that way, and then I can do it. I don't have a link to my Patreon yet, y'all, because Patreon is it's a little scary to navigate. Like it's not scary. It's just a little bit more challenging. It's not as integrated maybe as TikTok is. Like I have to like I think I have to like have Vimeo in order to like upload videos. Like it's not, I can't just do it all in the app. So it's not quite as integrated. It makes it just a little bit more challenging. So I'm still kind of playing with it, if I'm honest. I do also have a YouTube. If you're just wanting to like be a subscriber, if that's what you mean, you also can subscribe on YouTube. As soon as I set up subscription tiers. Hi, Shayla. Hello. Okay, y'all. I definitely want to talk about Love is Blind. I definitely want to talk about Potomac explicitly. K. What's happening, sis? I also hate to bring them up. And I did see, because shit be in the algorithm sometimes, not on here, but like on my other platforms. But I did see that 3D officially made Clark his girlfriend. Y'all. Sir, what are you doing? Is that not what already had happened before y'all even left the villa? You know? So yeah, I'm not buying it, y'all. I'm not buying it that it was only about asking to be his girlfriend. Subscribers, I have a take for y'all about that. Did I see Anton's video addressing alcohol? I did not see it. He just wanted to do a gesture, she said. Did y'all read her comments though? Did y'all read her comments? Clock it, Amina, and it looked like a wedding proposal with the fireworks. Did you read the comments? Because the comment from her in there was like something about like saying yes to him forever with like a ring. So I feel like y'all are lying because maybe you're trying to keep some things close to the chest, but I'm not buying it. I feel like y'all said it was a boyfriend-girlfriend proposal because that's what you feel like the public would be willing to accept. But y'all, I've always said, like, don't be shocked if it was on, I saw it on Instagram. Don't be shocked if they end up engaged and married. Like, that should not shock anyone. I do, Jennifer. I do. I think they might be. I think they might be trying to be coy with the public because they have gotten a lot of flack around their relationship, around the things that they have made public. Oh, is the subscription stuff on TikTok been fixed? So they did not fix it for anybody that prepaid. Anybody that paid for 6 months, 3 months, or a year, they did not fix it for you. You can now subscribe again though, as far as I know. You can subscribe again. So if you were like a monthly subscriber, like you should be safe to like subscribe again. But if you were someone that paid ahead of time, I've just been posting to a private YouTube playlist for y'all. And you should have that playlist link in your inbox. If you sent me your receipt that showed me how long you were subscribed for, I sent you a link to the YouTube playlist that you can see. It's possible she seems to be all about him and their relationship. I think she's trying to be coy. I think they're trying to be coy. Okay. Oh, then it should be safe for you to do it. It is safe for you to do it. Just make sure y'all don't do it in here, y'all, because it's not in here. It's not going to make you a subscriber. It's going to make you a super fan. So you need to like not click the little thing in here that says become a fan. You need to click my face and go to the subscription link on my page. That's what you want, is to be able to see the subscriber videos. So you need to do that. And that is more cost effective than becoming a super fan and all. Anyway, I was going to get myself back to get. And all you get for being a fucking super fan is stupid ass fucking stickers that are not even funny ones. Not even the funny ones that we uploaded. Okay. Piss me off. Hi, Cookie. Clark said, I'll show you how to get this ring. I hope ain't nobody taking that advice. Because, baby, hi, Brianna. Because, baby, if that's what I got to do to get a ring, I don't want it. I don't want it. No, thank you. No, thank you. Hi, Grace. No, thank you. Hi, Lyrical Buki. I don't want it. I don't want it. If I have to be willing to be degraded. Hi, Brianna. If I have to be willing to be talked down on, demeaned, humiliated in public to get a ring, bitch, I'll buy my own ring. I will buy my own. No, thank you. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm a pass. Wait, what do you mean every second about having a baby, dark skin lover girl? What are you telling me? Has that been coming up? Because subscribers, you know, I already had a take for y'all about that. Has that been coming up? I want to know. I need to know. But yeah, what we're watching with them is not fun. It's not fun to watch to me. Hi, House of Goddesses. That's not fun to me to watch. That to me is not something to aspire to. You know, people are being like, she's living the soft life. And here's my thing. Wait, what? Dark Skin Lover Girl, on Shelly and Alan's, he keeps talking about them having a baby. Him and Michelle or Taylor and Clark? Who is he trying to put this baby on? Hi, Divinity. Hi, Birdie. Who is he putting this baby on? Hi, Reed. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's giving trap. It's giving trap. I'm doing well, Divinity. How are you, my dear? Thank you so much. So, you said, who said that? Grace, what Dark Skin Lover Girl? Okay, so Dark Skin Lover Girl is saying that, I guess, little guy, is that who you're talking about? Little man said that? Little man said to 3D and Clark to have a baby, and they're going back and forth saying, no, you go first. Like, first of all, don't play with me. That's not funny. Hallie and DDG on God, AS. Absolutely not. Hi, Anika. Oh, Taylor started it. So 3D started it by saying it, am I reading a blind item? Why are you speaking in code? I'm not speaking in code, Herberta. So 3D commented on Michelle and Alan stuff saying, have a baby. They said, no, you go first. And this has happened at least 3 separate times. It's a hell no. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Oh, you're welcome, Lyrical Bookie. I be trying to keep y'all updated because TikTok be trying to steal y'all money, y'all. Ooh, they gonna shadow ban my life for saying that. They be trying to get over on y'all, and I be like, absolutely not. Listen, Herberta. Herberta said that 3D got to trap Clark before she finds out the truth. I am for the people fanatic, period. Give him a nephew, make him an uncle. Direct quotes, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because Michelle already said that she wasn't trying to have no baby no time soon. It's giving... This might sound judgy. I'ma own that. And then Ace said, nah, you go first. Okay, I'm gonna own that this might sound judgy. It's giving Cardi B and Offset. Because she was at the height of her career when that man got her pregnant. And then we didn't get an album for damn near 10 years. No. They're just breaking out. They're breaking out. They're developing their careers. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I agree with you. I agree with you, Christine. They are where they want to be. Let the men take them through there. I agree with you. I'm not never on no save. I'm not never trying to save somebody that doesn't want to be saved, right? But what I will say is I'm still going to critique those men. I'm still going to critique Taylor for that. Hi, Sakura Bay. Dark Skin Lover Girl just dropped the tea in here and told us that 3D told Alan and Michelle to make him an uncle, give him a nephew, and that Alan was like, no, you go first. And all I'm saying is, hell no. Like, it's giving... Y'all, they gonna clip me if I say it. No, it's not that many of us in here right now. Okay. But I said it's giving Cardi B and Offset, right? This idea that like when a woman is at the top of her career, when she's really, beginning to sort of like bust out and really make a name for herself. Dark Skin Lover Girl, will you clock it, Lyrical Bookie? Will you tell us if that's from a live or if it's from like one of their posts? But it's like, why would that be what you would want for that woman? because you want to sit her the fuck down, right? And we know that that was true with Offset and Cardi because of how Offset acted as they're going through their divorce, right? Him, oh, ain't nobody else gonna want you. You got my 3 kids. Da, da, da. Niggas will absolutely get you pregnant to try to trap you and make you unwantable and undesirable, right? Some are from posts and some are from lives, y'all. So absolutely, it is about trying to make you less desirable to other men. And it was on multiple occasions that this happened.
Somebody definitely wanted her.
He said, I won. Exactly. Offset said, I won because he made Cardi a baby mama. So some men will absolutely try to trap you by having a baby. So for me, for you to even say that, it's giving your character is not much different than that nigga's. Because why is that what you would want for her? DDG and Hallie, I'm only repeating what somebody said in the comments, but yes, Lyrical Buki. Like, why is that what you would want for her? I think that's what Stefan's doing now. Listen. Maybe Clark doesn't want a name for herself. She seems to want purses, grand gestures, and horses. I think that what's interesting is I feel like we're watching Clark in real time, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we listened to that girl talk about wanting a very lavish lifestyle when she was in the villa, and I feel like we're watching her be molded into what her partner wants for the sake of having a partner. And I've said repeatedly that I think that Love Island breeds pick me. It's pick me island. Honestly, you have to be a pick me because you have to end up in a relationship. So you have to be a pick me to a certain extent. And I feel like we're watching her be molded by this man. She is a Capricorn. She's getting what she wants. Tell me what you think tell me what that means to you. Because I know that, and I've said it, you think she really loves her horses? I think she does now too. But I think that's because she's been convinced to. Yep. Sakura Bay, I completely misread Clark. I thought she would have left him a long time ago. Listen, there were people that wanted me to believe that Clark was playing the long game, and I was like, no, y'all, I actually don't think that's what's happening at all. I don't think that's what's happening at all. As a Capricorn, I know that they like money, right? They like lavish things, right? But I think that I don't think that she thought it would look like, brushing horses and my man captioning it, the help or whatever the fuck he said. I don't remember now. As a Capricorn, you don't approve of what she's doing. Free labor. That's what he captioned it, right? Pick me, choose me, love me. That's what it's giving. And I don't know. But see, here's the thing. Capricorn women love to stay home and they love money. Does that mean that you also have to love being treated the way that she's treated? Like, I don't think that that's what any woman wants for themselves. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm also a Capricorn rising. My little sister is a Capricorn. My nieces are Capricorns. And maybe it's just because they were raised differently. But that public humiliation that you're not going to just know. Period. Pisces sun, Capricorn rising, Aquarius moon for me. Like, that to me is giving, like, I think that they like soft life, but is she really living a soft life? Is she living a soft life? I wouldn't consider it that. So for me, it's like she's staying at home, but she's also working, Christine. Yes, she's working. She not put up. She's locked down. That's different. That's different. You know? She might like the farm, but that's not what she said in the villa. So again, this goes back to, hi, Haven. This goes back to me. Thank you, Ginger. Earning her keep, Shayla. Yes, because this goes back to what I said, right? In the villa, she was talking about a very lavish, easy life. Hi, Nay. And I think that, again, Love Island, you have to be a pick-me. You just do. That's not negative. It's what the show requires, okay? You have to be picked to stay. You have to. So you have to be a pick-me to an extent, right? To an extent, you have to want to be picked. Otherwise, you have to be okay with going home, right? So Love Island just necessitates that. It does, okay? But what I listened to in the villa was a soft life, a very lavish. I want everything in my house to be white and clean and crisp. And now she's shoveling horse shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's not what I heard. I think this is what she has adapted to in order to be picked by the man. And she can adapt if she wants to. That's her business. But I'm just saying that's not what I heard. And so, I remember her face and her reaction as well when he said, I want the cows to be able to come to the house. She was like, the fuck? That wasn't what she was wanting, but she was willing to adapt in order to be picked. Like somebody said, right? That's why that I picked Clark is such a flex for her. That's why you heard her and Taylor talk so much about the triangle, right? I think that was production a lot. Like I think production probably gave them that language. You know what I mean? But then they bought into it. We never heard Alandria say that. We only heard Taylor and Clark ever say that, right? They bought into that language. And the goal became being picked by Taylor because Taylor somehow became the prize in the scenario. Production allowed this narrative to become what it was, and then they just bought into it. And I agree, it's not that she can go back. She can't go back, and I don't know that she even wants to. Thank you, dark skin lover girl. I don't even know that she wants to go back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just observing. I don't give a fuck what she actually does. You know what I mean? But I am observing someone where being picked matters more than anything else. And that is dangerous because it will make you violate your boundaries. It will make you compromise around things you shouldn't be compromising around because the goal is to just be in a relationship. I agree, Haven. I talked about that in a video to my subscribers. I talked to my subscribers about why it was never going to be Alandria. Even if it wasn't Clark, it was never going to be Alandria for him. And here's the thing. Hi, Darius. Here's the thing, Herberta. You don't want her to be baby trapped. I said on he does live with his parents as far as we know. Aloha. As far as we know, he lives with his parents and he's supposed to be going to graduate school soon. So again, it's not giving put up. It's not giving soft life, right? It's giving, I'm about to have to support my man, which whatever, right? I'm not against that. I'm not against that as someone that was supported while I did school. I'm not against you supporting your partner as they go to school. I'm just saying that's not what I heard from her. Hi, Darius. That's not what I heard from her. And so I'm watching in real time a violation of what you said you wanted. We saw this on Love is Blind. We saw this on Love is Blind with the women. And I told y'all about Madison. No, was it Madison? Yeah. No, I said about Allie, about Megan, and about, what was that funny looking one with the bad wig, y'all? Super weird. Always seemed like she was on something. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The one with that was the hairstylist. Annie, thank you. We seen with all three of them say they want one thing, but then for the sake of being chosen, thank you, Darius, for the sake of being chosen, go with something else. And this is why I say all be time that women, we have got to get off the dick of patriarchy. You have to stop lubing that motherfucker up and riding it so goddamn hard. You have to. Because if the only goal is to be someone, something, you will let yourself tolerate things and deal with things and be with men that don't meet your fucking standards because you just want to be somebody, something. And I just want better for us as women. I do. You feel me? I want better for us. And so I feel like what I'm watching in real time is a woman that decided it meant more to be chosen than it meant to have a healthy relationship dynamic that actually met her needs and her wants. And I'm not saying that we need to save her. Y'all know that I'm never talking to y'all about what the fuck any of them are doing because I care about what they do. I care about what you take away from it. What lesson do you then take from this shit? What do you take from it? Because are you compromising? When you heard that yellow flag, were you like, well, it's okay, you know, it's all right? No. And I know some people are like, oh, that's easy to say. Maybe there's somebody in here feeling like that right now, right? Because typically I wouldn't say that. That's easy to say because you're married, Tina. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And before I got married to Chris, I was clear that I didn't give a fuck about being with a man again. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm a ride out. Because y'all, I don't know if y'all know this, but when me and Chris got married again, we got married because Chris wanted to be married because I, at the time, was like, marriage don't mean shit. That ain't nothing. You know? I'm down to be your girl forever. I don't give a fuck about being your wife. You know? That was a little bit of my avoided shit showing up. You know, I need to be able to get the fuck out if I want to get out, you know? I need to be able to get away. So like, yeah, I hear you. I am married. And oh yeah, that's so easy to say when you're not like wanting the companionship of someone. And I just want us to believe as women that the companions that we have can actually measure up to what we want. Like there are men out there that can, if you like men, right? That can measure up to what you want. You don't have to fucking settle. And I'm not talking about not being willing to compromise on shit that's little shit. Whatever. This nigga wants red paint on the door and I want pink. Okay, let's meet in the middle. I'm not talking about shit like that, okay? I'm talking about actual values and morals and actual paths for your future not being aligned. No. When we listen to Megan have that conversation with Jordan, and she's like, well, you know, I want to see what Herberta said. Oh, I agree, Herberta. I think Clark was raised to be exactly who she's being now. Most women are. Most women are. Most women are. We are raised to be wives. Most of us are raised to be someone's wife. My mom said to me, oh, I feel like I should have kept you until, like, she felt like she didn't want me to, like, go off and be on my own until some man came and made me their wife. Vibe Lounge, tell me what you want me to talk about. So, like, yeah, most of us are raised to be that way. That doesn't shock me. That she's living out exactly how she was trained to be. Yeah, she works in psych. Oh yeah, Jasmine, I said that weeks before I put my final predictions out about all the couples. So far, I have been right about every single prediction, but I would not be surprised if they got if they got engaged and got married. My prediction, if you haven't watched it, my prediction is that they'll get engaged, they'll get married, they'll probably have a couple of children, one to a couple of children. And then at some point when her frontal lobe finishes developing and she gets into that Saturn return, that 27 year, that we'll hear about how he was her lesson. We'll hear about what she learned. I don't think we'll know details, but it'll be like a testimony of how she came out the other side, of how she stepped into. I can easily see that being the path of their relationship. Easily. Hi, Erica. Not how I survived 3D. Y'all are funny. I could easily see that being their trajectory. Okay, ask me, tell me more about what you mean about her. Oh, thank you, X Curve Plus. Tell me more about what you mean, Anika, about 404's recent behavior. So, like, y'all, and again, I think we see this a lot, and I think typically, y'all know I don't typically watch dating shows, right? So I think for me, it's like, oh shit, I'm seeing this across all of these platforms. I'm seeing this on Love is Blind. I'm seeing this on Love Island. I'm seeing this behavior from these women in all of these situations. Y'all are saying that as long as Shelly and Alan are together, you think that 3D and Clark will stay together. I don't necessarily. I agree, Jasmine. He definitely is still being coached by Alan. Subscribers, y'all know that I made a video telling y'all how Alan and 3D are actually a lot more alike than people think. Or than people even like discuss, right? But a lot of their behaviors are similar. Hi, Ian. They could read each other's minds. Exactly, Christine. Exactly that. 3D even said that they could like read each other's mind. Yeah. They're a lot more alike than people, I think, realize, even people that like love Michelle and Alan, but like hate 3D and not necessarily Clark, but like they don't like 3D. I'm like, it's the same person. It's the same person. Hi, Annabelle. Like, I don't know why y'all don't see that. I mean, I do know why. It can be hard to spot. You know what I mean? I'm not going to act like it's just so easy to see. But it is. Anika, she said this in recent videos. Is that what I'm understanding? Tay does things to please Ace. Taylor's a follower. He's got someone who has a backbone. He will always lurk in someone's shadow. I have to spend more time thinking about that. Here's why I struggle to just be like, yes, with that, right? Here's why I struggle with that. The only reason I struggle with that is because I feel like in some ways that removes culpability from 3D. Right? That almost makes it like he's just so malleable. He's just so, susceptible to Alan's influence. And to me, it's like, I think he is already some of these things. Alan is just also those things. And so it makes it like, okay, great. I've got someone that is like me, right? You know what I mean? I agree, Antoinette. Herberta, I don't necessarily believe that rumor. Like, I feel like, he legally changed his name. His passport says Ace Green. How do you know his passport says Ace Green, Tashana?
Right.
So for me, it's like, I think Anika, to your point, 3D is just slicker, maybe. He's more practiced because he's older than Alan, which is why I think it's harder for people to spot it. They don't see how it's similar because he has more practice at the behavior. But the behaviors aren't that different. Was it in the Delta commercial? Why would he? I mean, maybe he did, but why the hell would he show y'all his actual passport? That's not weird. I would believe that the commercial was a doctored version rather than his real one.
There's an error in there, but just
I agree. Frankie Beverly said they are both menaces. How about that? Y'all are funny. Herberta, he's more practiced because he's hiding a lot more than Alan. Yeah, again, I think he has had to be practiced at this, right? And so again, it makes it more challenging to spot. It's you know, listen, am I about to out myself? It is, you know, it's a skill. It is a skill to be able to get people to do what you want them to do without other people knowing that you got them to do what you want them to do. And Alan is not as good at that skill yet. Oh, Michelle showed it on her story. It wasn't on a commercial. I think that's even more weird. I bet you he did that since the show. He was tired of people calling him Alan. Do I think that 3D enjoys being the villain more than Alan? No, I think that 3D wants to be liked. He needs to be liked. He needs to be liked. I've talked to y'all about that before, right? When you are a certain type of human in the world, you need people to like you because that's how you get away with certain things. I think he's leaning into it because he's like, well, whatever, you know, because that allows him to victimize himself. That allows him to victimize himself. You know what I mean? So he's like, I'm going to lean into it because, oh, y'all are just mad that I didn't pick Alandria, despite people saying to him repeatedly that that's not what it's about. But why would I let myself open up to like actual accountability when I could just keep deflecting? And then he plays the goofy, funny role because that lets him get away with things. It lets people be like, oh, you know, because he's not direct, right? He's not like Alan. He's not direct. He's not just saying it because, again, Alan, in a lot of ways, there's not something wrong with how he is. I don't think it's something wrong with him having an opinion, with vocalizing his opinion, with, you know, meaning what he says and standing. I don't think it's anything wrong with that. Alan has not learned the skill yet of seasoning his words with grace. Not everything has to be said out loud. And when you do say certain things, you should say them a certain type of way, right? He hasn't learned that skill yet because he's still young, right? And that's something that will come with time and age if he allows it to, right? 3D already has that skill. So he, like somebody said in the comments, he uses humor to disarm. And so when I do and say certain things, it seems less alarming because he held Honda Civic Speak to the Fire around Jeremiah, but only Alandria caught flack for it. Why? Because the delivery was different. That's it. Well, and he's a man and people love to insulate men, right? But that's the only difference. So I think he likes to be liked. I think he leaned into the edit again because then he just plays to the point of, well, they're just mad at me, y'all, because I went with my heart. He gets to play that also narrative around it, right? So that's why he leans into the villain edit because, yeah, I'm going to lose some people, but then there are some people that are just going to feel bad for me because, well, why can't he just choose the person he loves and da-da-da-da-da? Because they're also probably under 25. Right? So they're going to buy into that. Right? Or they just have unsuccessful relationships, or they don't have integrity, or whatever their thing is, you know? Exactly. Hi, Mish. So yeah, 404 and 3D similarities. It's insane. I actually have never considered their similarities. I don't feel like, not that I can see why people would feel like they're similar. Hi, Mish. We were, yeah, I wanna hear more about that. Like, I could see like why people, like maybe the manipulation, like what is it that you, because I feel like she, like their slickness, like what is it that feels similar? As far as like 404, y'all, I really don't have any other thoughts other than what I already said about her, like her showing up. But Anika, you said that she said, I've gone to therapy 3 times. It didn't work. I don't trust men. And what is the other one? CT Dub, I actually think I think he plays that role more than I think he actually is. T-Dub said, I honestly don't think 3D is that smart. I think he plays dumb. That's also a manipulation tactic. It can be. And I've talked to y'all before about how I used to do that shit when I was a teenager with boys. I would play dingy. I'm pretending to be dingy because I know that now you underestimate me. And now I can leverage that to my benefit. And so I think partly, and I said the same thing about Amina. No, Amaya. I couldn't think of her fucking name. I think the same thing about Amaya. I think that that's an act too. Oh, she doesn't believe in embarrassment and she'll keep doing what she's doing. Christina, stop. Yeah, I think he's playing like he's not smart. She doesn't believe in embarrassment, so she's gonna keep doing what she's doing. And she has tried therapy 3 times. It hasn't worked, and she doesn't trust men. I mean, fair about not trusting men. I don't really have a thought about that. She's tried therapy 3 times and it hasn't worked. I would be curious about what stage of change were you in? Were you actually trying? Were you actually in a space? Ooh, that's a good question, Christina. Were you actually in a space to gain something from therapy? Because some people go to therapy because they feel like they should or someone tells them they should, but they don't actually want to do shit in there. They don't actually want to change anything about themselves. Herberta, yes. Some people they don't want to change anything about themselves, and so I would be curious about where she actually was when 404 decided to go to Joe. Joe said, did she go 3 times or just in 3 sessions? Y'all, hi Kimberly, hi India Cook. Y'all are too much. I can't with y'all. I can't. Hi Tay. You said you think 3 sessions. Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. Listen, here's the thing. I'm not going to say that therapy is effective every single time. It's not. It's not. Okay. And how are you doing therapy? What type of therapy are you doing? Are you vetting your therapist? Y'all know, I say to y'all all the time. Hi, India Cook. Anika asked me to talk quickly about my thoughts on 3D. I mean, on 404. And here's the thing. How are you vetting your therapist? Are you going to the intake session and then you don't like how the intake went, and so you count that as a time that you went to therapy? Like, that's just such a broad statement. It's really hard to know any real details to have like an opinion about it. But I'm also not going to lie to y'all and say therapy always works. I say to y'all all the time that not every therapist is a good therapist. I say that to y'all all the time. Erica asked the question, does therapy really help those who are overly self-aware and already overly analytical of themselves? Yes, it can, Erica. But your therapist needs to realize that about you and stop letting you stay up here and make you drop into your body. Because I'm that way. I told my therapist, I was like, listen, girl, I already psychoanalyzed myself, girl. I can tell you all the reasons why I do the shit that I do. I have a harder time validating the emotions when they come up because I can explain them away. You have to have a therapist that knows that you're doing that, can spot that you're doing that, and can make you slow the fuck down and actually feel that shit. People like that need more somatic-based work. They need more body-based work. But your therapist has to know that. They can't be trying to do CBT with you. That ain't gonna help. Right? Herberta says 404 has become sadness outside the villa. Now I know why they didn't get along. Same person. I said that while they were still in the villa. 404 and Honda Civic are the same person.
No, they're not.
I have a video where it's the Spider-Man meme pointing at each other.
Mount Loco.
Yeah.
I said, what's up, Mount Loco?
What's up, Daddy? How did you sleep? Good. I don't have an opinion on a diagnosis for her, Tanya.
Sage said she misses us.
She texted you? Or she called you?
She texted.
Tanya asked, do I think if 404 is a narcissist? I never have an opinion on diagnoses about people because I don't know them, right? All I'm seeing is an edited version of them, whether that's via the TV or on social media. So I don't have an opinion about a diagnosis. I did not hear that, AS. Did I hear how she spent her life savings and got a loan for her business the month before Love Island? No, I did not hear that. I will say, y'all, that like around somebody said she doesn't have to believe in embarrassment for embarrassment to believe in her.
Sorry, that's fucked up.
Here's the thing. I do feel like we need more shame. And I will say that like I've said this a little bit before that like I think that social media has given. Okay, Anika, I'm gonna have to. Will you send it to me or tag me in it so I can watch it? I do feel like we need more shame, right? I feel like the internet has given us this incorrect idea that all of our opinions are valid opinions.
Yeah.
And y'all know how I feel about that. Okay, not every opinion is one I need to fucking hear. I don't care. Right? But because I can get online and I can record myself and I can post it and 10 people will interact with it or 3 people or 1 person or nobody. The fact that I have somewhere to put it somehow makes it valid in people's mind. Even when they don't have the fucking range. Ooh! Erica. Erica said you had a few people on that panel that you were on that didn't have valid opinions. Listen, don't even get me started because I made a whole video about why men needed to stay out of the Aisha Curry conversation. And too many men feel like because they have extra appendages in between their legs that somehow that then makes their opinion valid. Simply because I got something swinging in between my legs, whatever I'm saying is now important and valid and abuse. And it's not.
She's wrong.
It's not. No, don't do that. Right now, don't do that.
That's not funny.
Bro, I'm so serious.
You're not.
I'm so.
You really think she is?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Because there's plenty of clips where she was like, it's not even about the fact that she said she didn't want to get married. That's not wrong. I don't get why people are mad at that. It's just about the fact like there was a clip of her like jokingly like removing her wedding ring when she saw another dude walk in the room shirtless, and it's just like you didn't have to do that.
So you feel like it was an inappropriate behavior from her?
Yeah.
How does her husband feel about it?
I don't know.
He has said repeatedly publicly that he supports his wife and he's not bothered by those things. So why do you think other men, because it's usually men, should have such a say and a negative opinion in her relationship if her husband is not bothered by it?
What do you mean?
Is she married to the public or is she married to Steph?
Or Steph, I mean.
And so why do you think the public feels like they have a right to speak on something that is okay between her and her husband?
I don't think they have a right. It's just me personally.
Your opinion is
that
you would feel not okay with maybe your spouse doing that?
Yeah.
Well,
so then that would be
that opinion is coming from.
Yeah.
Where do you think your opinion is coming from? Where do you think you're getting that from?
My eyes.
but what do you think is like informing your opinion? Like what makes you say, oh, I think that that's wrong to do?
What do you mean? Like,
what would be the right thing for her to have done? Maybe
not do that.
And why do you think she should not do it?
Because that's weird.
Why is it weird?
Because why is she like removing her wedding ring just because she saw another nigga shirtless?
What do you think it means that she removed her wedding ring? Like what story are you telling yourself about what that means?
Like, not that she would leave Steph. I don't think that would happen.
Okay.
But like, that like, I don't know, just like I would cheat.
Like maybe she wants his attention or she might give him attention.
Or maybe she would cheat, is what you said?
No, she's just clip farming.
She's just clip farming, so you think it's like she's just sort of rage baiting a little bit?
Yeah. That's not the same thing.
Okay.
At all.
What's clip farming?
Clip farming is like when you do something on purpose in front of a camera to get like to spark attention.
So you think she's attention seeking?
Yeah.
From him and maybe the public?
Yeah.
And why does that feel like a problem?
Because why do you need attention? You're already famous and rich.
How do you get famous and rich? From what?
Doing stuff that gets you attention, but
okay, so what is what you said?
There's a difference.
What's the difference?
You think there's a right way to look for attention and a wrong way to look for attention? And you feel like what she did was the wrong way?
Yes.
So maybe that's a conversation you have within your relationship if you decide to get married, between you and your partner. But why do we need to make assessments and judgments around Aisha if her husband has said that he supports his wife and he's okay with it?
Okay, but also at the same time, you're my mother. I've heard you judge people plenty of times. What's the difference?
But I'm asking, well...
No. What's the difference?
Well, you're answering a question with the question, though, right? Which kind of feels like deflection.
Yeah.
Rather than sitting with and getting curious about, why do I feel like this about this, right? Because the reality is like, yeah, you're entitled to an opinion. And is that opinion then enough to say she's wrong? Or is it to say, I wouldn't want that for myself, based on what I'm saying?
I don't think that's okay behavior at all.
So
within the context of your relationship, right?
Is what you're really getting at is that you wouldn't want that for your spouse or your partner
she did it
to do that to you. Hold on, see you changing, you're deflecting again. First of all, you wouldn't want that for your partner or your relationship to look like that, but that doesn't mean that just because somebody else does that's wrong. Or that person is wrong. That might be okay in their relationship. Because like your mom said, Steph has come out and said that he supports her, right? He supports what she does and the way that she's moving or whatever the case may be. He has no problem with it. So I think what you need to understand, son, is that like, take that as okay, this is something that I wouldn't want in my relationship. So when I get into a relationship, this is something that me and my partner can talk about that's not okay. Somebody else doing it all the way over here in Timbuktu, I don't give a damn about them and what they got going on. But to answer your question, do you even see rings on our fingers?
No, I don't.
Because I'm still married whether I wear one or not.
Okay, so let me say this. Travis Hunter basically had the same situation, but it was different. Like,
is Travis the one from See You Boater?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where his girl was going around like flirting with, like, being in niggas music videos and kissing up on him while they were together, going to the club, twerking and stuff, and people thought that was wrong. And he, like, completely just, like, turned off his comments because people were telling him to end the relationship. And then people, like, just kept saying it, and it's just like, okay, so then what's the difference between having an opinion and judging somebody in public versus on the internet?
It's not that, again, it's not that you can't have an opinion. It's not even that you can't form judgments, but to cast a claim about someone, right? She's wrong for that, rather than being able to take it in and say, I don't like that. I think that behavior is inappropriate, and so I wouldn't do that in my dynamic. Those are two different things.
But also, I think that it's important. And me, you need to have a conversation. I think it's important to look at them two scenarios don't correlate, right? I think they're two different scenarios. Furthermore, I think it's important that most of the people that are having an issue with both said parties are men, because I think a lot of men think that that says something about them as a man, right?
Why are you letting your woman?
Right. Because now you look like whatever to a man. So why do you care about other men's opinions, right? Because what they're saying is, oh, I would never let my woman do that. Like, oh, you sorry ass nigga, you ain't a man because you let your woman, she up in the club dancing. What the fuck is she supposed to do in the club? She's in a club. She supposed to just stand around and stare at everybody like the niggas do? No, dance, have a good time, party. That's what we're here for. And if she's in a music video, I hope she's getting paid. She's working. She's supposed to be doing her job. She's supposed to be selling something, right? She's making it seem like she is the girl in the video.
Okay. Now that y'all gonna say this isn't the same thing, right?
Okay.
But since you said she's working, then do you think it's fine for whatever her name is to go and spit in Michael B. Jordan's mouth?
What?
In Sinners? And she has a fiance.
She's at work.
That's fine with y'all?
She's at work, son.
But how do we know? First of all, it's the movies. That could have been computerized, right? Just like the same thing happened with Lauren London. Everybody was complaining about her kissing until old boy had to come out and say that was computerized. It's AI. We didn't really kiss. So the same thing could be said about Sinners. She didn't probably actually spit in that man's mouth. And if she did, she's at work. So first of all, if you have, if a man, to me, my advice to men is, if you have a woman who is an actor or any of sort,
that's your fault.
No, that's not your fault. It's not your fault, but do some work. Go to therapy and do some work around yourself, so then like things like that don't come up, because you're jealous about something that can possibly not even be anything, right? She's at work. She's doing her job. Spit in that nigga's mouth and bring home that check. Fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like that. You know, like. But then the other side is like, yeah, how do we know that was even real? That was probably computerized.
No, I'm just kidding.
Because most people don't actually like that type of shit. I'm not saying, I don't know Michael B. Jordan in his personal life. He might like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but see, you think it's disgusting. Somebody else might be like, yeah, spit in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right. I still, okay.
But so I don't think but to answer your question, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, so then let me change my original claim.
Okay.
What I think Ayesha Curry did was wrong.
Okay.
In my opinion.
In your opinion. And what does that then mean for you?
To not have a wife that does that. Or to communicate that to my
significant to your partner,
other.
Your boundaries.
My boundaries. Like, hey, I would not like for you to do said things.
Because that makes... And then get curious with your own self about what that feels like to you. Why do you feel like that? What does that mean to you?
What do you mean by that?
Because, you know, it may not mean anything, right? But the story, you're probably telling yourself a story about it, right? Oh, she wants the attention, right? She's clip farming, whatever. And that feels negative because she shouldn't want that. Why should she not want attention? What does that mean for you? But you're 13. So these are things that you will develop over time.
Okay, but that's just called overthinking.
No, baby. It's about helping yourself be curious with yourself, so that you can know why you believe certain things rather than just believing them and acting on them.
because a lot of times where that can go for most men is like, okay, there's something wrong with me. Am I not good enough? Am I not giving you enough attention? Like, so on and so forth. Well, that's why we're saying be curious about why that might be a boundary for you. And if it is, what I'm saying? Like, what does that say about me as a person? If my partner does something like that and I feel a way, what does that say of me as a person beyond just the boundary, right? I get the boundary, but what does that say about me as a person? What does that mean to me? If I'm feeling away, what is that feeling away feeling, if that makes sense? And then what does that mean for me?
Thank you, Ginger. Tell me what you want me to talk about. Okay, y'all, sorry. I know y'all had to listen to that, but we couldn't just let him say that and then not have a conversation around it. He is only 13, so we have to, so we make space for it. 13, but because we have to have those conversations. But yeah. Yeah, exactly, Ashley. I think it's exactly. Thank you, Haven. Yeah, it was. Thank you, Taj. Thank you, Nikki. It was a teachable moment, right? You got to be willing to have those conversations. Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay. That is my Gemini. Okay, my thoughts about her popping up at the Agua party. We actually were just talking about her, so definitely happy to talk about that. Thank you. Yeah, he's only 13. So we are teaching that critical thinking skill now. I love it, Ashley. Okay, what I think about her popping up at the Agua party, I feel like she is attention seeking. She is connection seeking. I think my overall thought really is that yes, please. Yeah. That's how you got here. You're welcome. I don't know if I would say that it's stalker tendencies, y'all. That feels like a lot. That feels like a big statement, you know what I mean, to make. Because like, what else have we seen her do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's a lot. And to me, I feel like people saying that, like, you have never been stalked. You don't know what that's like. It is relentless. Okay. It is not every once in a while. Okay. It is not occasionally. Okay. It's just giving. She has things that she feels unresolved around, in my opinion. What I can say for certain is she has some things that she feels unresolved around that she needs to deal with. Right. I agree. Her showing up and then making the Snapchat as well to the song she made it to. It's a choice, right? It is a choice. I agree. I think stalking is too strong of a word. Like, I don't use that word lightly. I don't use that word lightly. I would not say it's stalker tendencies. I would say she's in Chicago now. And I know y'all are saying Nick is in Chicago too. And like, so what? People travel to the same places all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if she's at his Chicago show or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, okay. But like, to just be in the same, like, you don't know what she's there for, y'all. Like, I don't, y'all know I don't believe in labeling people without enough evidence to, like, her family lives there. Okay. You know what I mean? She's going to a wedding. Like, listen, like, so I'm just not willing to be like, oh my God, she's doing it. I mean, people were doing that even when she changed her hair. Because Alandria's hair was straightened. And so they were like, oh my God, she straightened her hair. And I was like, if you followed her before you decided she was a weirdo, then you know that she said she only recently even started wearing her hair curly. She used to always straighten it because she felt a way about her curls. So that's really not that outrageous that her hair was straightened, right? Like, I think sometimes people try to make things out of nothing. And so I'm not in the business of doing that. Okay. I will say that, her popping up was odd, right? Her popping up is a choice. And I think not just on her, but also on the guy that brought her. That's your bow right here, right? You're choosing to be messy. You're choosing to be messy. Right? I don't think they're a perm, not based on what she said, at least. The curls, I don't think they're a perm based on what she said. I agree, Sakura. And then they missed the actual strange behavior, right? They were trying to be messy. They were trying to spark conversation, which is exactly what's happened, right? All the brands deleted him. Nikki, you know, I stay with my Burt's Bees. Okay, I stay with that. If Alandria was doing that, people would be dragging her. They would, but that is less attached to what the behavior is, and that's more attached to people's anti-blackness, right? Because the reality is most people are simply just not paying attention to 404. So who is there to drag her? Because nobody's paying attention to her. And that's why I think that it's like these things are because she wants attention, because then we talk about her, right? People would be dragging Alandria because they drag Alandria for nothing, simply because they're anti-black. Simply because they're anti-black. And here's the thing, P. She was looking for a reaction from Alandria and Nick. I don't know if I feel like she's very unwell if she thought she was going to get a reaction. Exactly, Jennifer. Because they haven't reacted to anyone else and they don't give it to her. And to what Jennifer's point is, what I was about to say is then fans give the reaction. So it's working, right? It's working because then she's a stalker, she's this, and then you start looking for all these crimes instead of being like, bitch, I'm not giving. The only conversation we should ever be having about 404 is that she's a fucking racist who outed her ex-boyfriend and culturally appropriates. That's the only conversations 404 is worth. Keep the focus on the problem with her. Period. For me, you know, like that needs to be the conversation we revisit over and over again. Tata, I haven't heard that. Where did you hear that? How do you know that? That's the only conversation we should be having over and over about her, right? Even when we talk about this, because I'm not saying it's not that we can't ever bring it up, but even acknowledging and saying she's doing this to rewrite the narrative, because that's literally all that it's about. She wants us to get caught up in, she wants to be like Alandria, she wants Nick's attention, she wants this, she wants that, rather than being like, that girl is trying to flip the script. She wants to switch the narrative. She wants to distract from the fact that she was fired from her job for being a racist. That should be her legacy, and that alone. Hi, user MS. I don't even think I think she does I think she's very shocked that she has not been redeemed by the public. I think she's very shocked because cancel culture doesn't exist, right? If we want to be honest, cancel culture doesn't exist, right? People will be canceled and then they just get quiet long enough and then they come back and motherfuckers forget. Who was that one I told y'all about last time? The one that was in Transformers, the little boy, Shia LaBeouf. He got canceled because of his disgusting behavior toward his partner. And then he got quiet for maybe a year, maybe even less than a year. And then he came back and they were, oh my God, he's such a zaddy. He's so fine. Have y'all seen this? And y'all completely the fuck forgot. So I think that she's shocked that she hasn't been redeemed, right? James Charles, what's the other one that is, so he's kind of weird looking. The white boy, I feel like his hair is like platinum blonde, maybe. Oh my God, he was like really big in makeup for a while some years ago. Jeffree Star, all of them, right? It's like they get canceled. Gina Rodriguez, exactly. All of these people, if they just go away long enough, people will forget. And so I feel like that was her miscalculation. Oh, thank you, Dark Skin Lover Girl. Tell me what you want me to talk about. That was her miscalculation, is that she wasn't quiet long enough. She wasn't quiet long enough, right? Which she should know better as a social media person about that. But that speaks to the craving around, again, she feels unresolved about some things. And so I think that she's in this space of, if I just talk about it enough, we're talking about 404k Boogie, somebody paid for me to talk about them. If I just explain it good enough, if I just explain it good enough, then people will understand and they'll move on. And it's like, no, baby, sometimes you need to step away, right? You need to step away. As far as her moving into talking about political things, I'm never going to be mad at someone's political consciousness being raised. That's never going to make me mad. That's never going to make me mad. Is it performative? I think a lot of people that talk about political things are performative. There's certain commentators that I don't engage with because it feels like you're grifting. You're talking about it to gain something for yourself, whether that's more followers, whether that's money, whether that's, acclaim, whatever it is, fame, whatever. You're doing it to gain something for yourself rather than because you actually care about this thing. To y'all's point that, like, she doesn't answer, she deflects. Or that she doesn't explain, she attempts to deflect. I feel like even that is her. She's trying to show y'all the real her. If they can just see the real me, it will explain away this fumble, this bad action. I did not, Erica. I did not, and I'm so glad. Right? So it's like I thank you, Sakura Bay, for clearing that up. Like, so for me, I don't feel like, and Anika, I'm going to watch it and I'll definitely give you my opinion. I'm never going to be, and I've told y'all this before, I will always make space for people being able to grow. I will always make space for that. Antoinette, you're a subscriber. You probably saw my take. About that. It's given inauthentic. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Right? But yeah, y'all, I just feel like I'm always going to make space for people to grow. And clock it, Erica. Clock it. Out of the goodness of your heart, don't piss me off. At least be honest about what you're getting out of it as well. And Haven, what's crazy is I've always felt like that. Because, and not even because of the way people talked about, anyway, let me not get started. Destiny, are you asking what video they're talking about from Alan? But yeah, y'all, I'm always going to be here for people to grow. I'm always going to be here for people to grow. And I do feel like, and maybe I don't think so. I do feel like as a clinician, I'm very able to clock and to spot when someone actually is growing versus when they are performing growth. I have had clients. This is why I be thinking it's funny when people get on the internet and they're like, oh yeah, I just used to be gaming my therapist. And I'm like, you only think that because you don't read our notes. You only think that because you ain't seen your progress notes. Because it's not always therapeutic to call you out in the therapeutic space around, are you telling the truth or are you lying, right? But I make a note of that shit. Right? And then I start to challenge you as that makes more sense therapeutically. But niggas, people just be thinking they gaming your therapist. We literally get paid to learn how to read you as a person. Right? And then some of us were already intuitive before we ever even went into this field, right? So you probably not getting nothing by them for real. Now, some of them, again, not all therapists are good therapists. Y'all know I say that all the time. Yeah, you are, right? But I do feel like I can tell when, now I'm not going to lie to y'all and say that I've been watching Sierra's stuff. So I have no idea. You know what I mean? I haven't been watching her stuff to know whether or not I think she is actually growing. I will say this, and y'all are probably going to be shocked by it. I will say this. Like, my heart breaks a little bit when I do see clips of her lives. I'm a human, y'all. My heart breaks a little bit because I'm like, wow, like that's so much pain for you to be showing up like that. And I never want somebody to feel like that. I want you to get the help you need so that you're not in that place. You know what I mean? Even when I told y'all about Alan, and y'all know I be on Alan's ass about all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But when him and Michelle got dumped from the island simply because racist people were not going to allow them to win, that broke my heart. When I saw him shucking and jiving at the VMAs, that broke my heart. Like, that shit is sad. I don't want to see that. That girl Rizzle, I don't know. I've never seen the whole live. I've just seen clips of it, like, shared on social media. Like, that hurts my feelings for you. That's how you feel like you have to show up. Ginger said, why do I think she's still holding on to Love Island? Because what else is she known for at this point? I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at your question, your comment. I didn't mean to laugh when you said shucking and jiving. Yeah, I think, you know, honestly, she wants fame, which anybody going on that show wants it. And I appreciate Olandria being honest about that. Even though we all know that, I don't appreciate motherfuckers acting like that's not what they were there for. Because you can be there for love and for, like, they don't have to be separate. And so I appreciate, like, she was there to gain fame. She was there to gain fame. And this goes back to what I said. She feels unresolved about some things. There are people that feel like she wants Nick's attention. That's not really how I perceive it at this point. And I've said this before, but I will say it again, that I believe Olandria was the diamond of the season, and Olandria was going to be that whether she came out with a partner or not. Olandria was that girl when she came out, whether she ended up with a partner or not. And so I believe that a lot of it is about she thought she was going to maintain that friendship and ride that popularity. And that didn't happen. I think it's about wanting proximity to the social capital that Olandria has. And Nick, by extension, also has. Period. That's what I believe. And that opportunity was taken from her. And now she doesn't know what to do with that. And I don't even know if she recognizes that that's what it is. But, like, that's a thing to go deal with somebody that is safe and that is going to have a non-judgmental approach with you, who is going to have unconditional positive. You need to go sit with somebody that can hold you that way and talk about that. Not just, and so this is why she ends up in spaces with them or does things to provoke, right? This is why I'm saying, like, even when we're having the conversation of, oh, she changed her hair. Oh, she did this, she did that, she did this, she did that. In relationship to Nick and Alandria, that is me. She has pivoted. She has pivoted in order to still live out the life plan, which is proximity to them to gain social capital. Now the social capital is being gained because we're critiquing her around it, but it's still by proximity to them. It's still in relationship to them. And this is why I feel like if we're going to have those conversations, it should always circle back to, she was fired from her job for being a racist. She said she was committed to the work. What has that work looked like? It for me, for me, it makes me feel like, and the comments are going fast, y'all. So if I miss something that you said that you want me to respond to, just drop it again, okay? For me, it gives what I say to some of the people on those lives and those panels that I be on, when I'm like, I can tell that you did not do well in your English classes because you don't know how to stay on topic of the prompt, right? You're down somewhere else. You all the way 3 paths away from what the fuck we were talking about, right? And I feel like that is what she does with the fan base. The prompt is, why is Sierra not in our good graces as the public? And y'all are talking to me about her changing her hair to be like Alandria's? Why? Because she does things to still be in proximity to them via conversation in the public eye, rather than us staying focused on the prompt. And I'm not willing to give that to her. So she can't let go of Love Island. Because if she had to actually sit in what she did, if she had to actually sit in what she has done even prior to that moment, if she had to sit in that and actually do the work, we would be seeing something different. Jazz, we're talking about 404. We would be seeing something different. We have not actually, as a public, made her do that. We have allowed her to derail the conversation. Because Alandria was the diamond, Ginger, the other Islanders will not get her the same level of acclaim. Even, let's clock it. Even, so Yana said, do you think that she's upset that she chose the wrong, in quotations, black girl to be besties with? Let's clock it. Even about her and Michelle. Why were we talking about her and Michelle, y'all? What was the conversation people had about it? How could Michelle do that to Alandria? It wasn't, why is Michelle hanging out with her? It wasn't, Michelle, this. It was about what that meant to Alandria. And so now that Shalandria doesn't exist anymore, Michelle doesn't meet the need. She doesn't fit the pivot of the plan to stay in proximity to Alandria in conversation and public discourse. And that's why you don't see no more posts. Because Michelle blew that up by being with the man that she's with who blew it up. And I guess she thought Alandria, which I don't know why she would. I guess she thought Alandria would address her, but I don't know why. Because Alandria has not done that via social media with anyone. Alandria has not done that via social media with anyone. Even when Coco tried it, she said, no, we gonna talk in a room together publicly about what happened. Alandria has not, even when she did post that post after the Speedy interview, that was like, child, whatever, my thing went great at, my speaking engagement went great. She deleted it. She deleted it. She's not giving attention to any of them publicly. So anybody that is attempting to provoke a response out of her, I have to feel like you are just, not every cylinder is firing at the same rate of speed as other people's, maybe. Because why would you think that? Why would you think that she would deviate from her character for you? Why would you think that? Who do you think that you are? Who are you feeling like? Silence is extremely powerful at times. Alandria moved with a lot of intelligence when she came out of that villa and when she let herself just kind of watch for a period of time. When she realized, oh, this is feeling like a lot. Let me watch. Let me recalibrate. Let me censor. Let me figure out how I'm going to show up in this space. And now she has been able to move with integrity in a way that honors her publicly since. And that should be her only focus. She doesn't owe anything to anybody else. Now, if Alandria decided tomorrow that she wanted to get on the internet and cuss every last one of their asses down to the ground, and that felt like honoring her, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Thank you, Ginger. Tell me what else you want me to talk about. I'm here for that. As long as it feels like it's honoring her. I want her to show up however she wants to show up. Whatever feels right for her. Whatever feels like I can look at myself in the mirror at night and be okay with me. I want that for you. Period. Ginger asked if oh wait, dark skin lover girl, tell me what you wanted me to talk about. Tina, do you feel if Michelle got out of the way, would Ola and Huda make it as friends outside of the villa? No. No. And the reason I say that is because Alandria had a very specific ask from her about what was happening on the internet that Honda Civic was never going to do, because her fan base runs on anti-blackness, and Honda Civic was not willing to give up them that follower account. Are you sure, dark skin lover girl? Was not going to give up that follower account, so she was never going to. They were never going to be friends, regardless of Michelle. She can't isolate her fan base. That's all that she has right now. She's never going to tell them stop being anti-black when that's the reason. That is literally the fuel to their fire. Okay. That is the fuel to their fire. She was never going to say that out loud to them. And so that relationship was always going to dissolve. Okay, Ginger asked me, okay, I hear you, dark skin lover girl. I got you for Sunday. Me and Chris were talking about it already. What do I think about the Ola dolls dissing Nick? I don't know, y'all. Like, this is what I mean about the whole, like, I want y'all to have minds of your own. And I don't mean y'all and y'all know I don't mean y'all. Y'all know I don't mean y'all. But I want people to have minds of their own. Because whatever you feel about Nick or Alandria should not be contingent upon the other person outside of some sort of like egregious behavior from one to the other, right? Like if he was smacking her up or, you know, cheating on her or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. That makes sense for it to be in relation to Alandria. But if you're going to dislike someone, you should dislike them based on their own merits, not because of something you feel about Alandria. Because what I see, and maybe I'm wrong, but what I see a lot is them being like, well, he excuses this or that, and so that's why I feel about that's why they feel a way about him and Alandria. or about him in regards to Alandria. He should have made Alan apologize publicly. I'm not fucking with him no more. Da, 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 da. I had an opinion about that as well, but I wasn't going to stop fucking with him because of what I thought it meant for Alandria. I was going to stop fucking with him because of what I thought it meant about him and his character. You need to have a mind of your own. Because regardless of what, because I said the same thing, I did talk about them a little bit. I said the same thing about Michelle and Alan. For me, my issue with Alan was like, he didn't consider the impact on Black women, explicitly Alandria, but also Michelle, because that damaged her relationship with Alandria as well, right? For me, that meant something about him. And that made me be like, yeah, I'm not. He was already at a deficit with me. Y'all know that. Anybody that listened to me when the show was actually on, you already know that like it was thin ice for me already. It was thin ice for me already. So it was like, once you did that, it was like, yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm straight. So for me, it's like, you need to, whatever you feel about a person needs to be based on your own opinion, based on what you're watching from that person. I don't disagree with that, Ginger. I was curious about the same thing. Again, y'all know, I've told y'all 1,000 times that he was a little too Energizer Bunny for me in the villa, right? He was a little, and so I just, yeah, there were already things for me, you know, that was like, oh no, that's a little bit off, right? I think we got the Black love story because that's what he thought would be successful outside of the villa. And that's who wanted him from who was left, if we keeping it a buck. Anywho, so yeah, for me, it's like as far as like Oladolls, if you consider yourself, here's what I say. If you consider yourself an Oladoll, Alandria has already publicly said that when you diss him, you hurt me because he is a part of me. He is someone that I care about. So to me, you're not even a fan of Alandria. Not for real. Not for real. Because you cannot like that man and not say shit. Because listen, subscribers, I got a video coming for y'all. Hi, Gigi. I got a video coming for y'all today about Meg and her Lover Girl song. That is a hot ass take that I would never make public. Because I like Meg. And so I would never get on my girl publicly. And so if you are an Alandria fan, you're not going to say that shit publicly because of what she's already said it does to her. Thank you, Gigi. You got kicked out the club, Tata? Are you talking about subscriber videos? Don't worry, it'll be on YouTube. And I sent you the playlist. And it's like, you cannot be a fan of him without saying anything about it. You could just shut the fuck up. That is always an option. You can always shut the fuck up. That is an option. Like, listen. Be quiet. Be quiet. So for me, I feel like if you're saying you're an Oladoll and you're coming for Nick publicly out loud where other people can see, you don't even like Alandria. Okay, Ginger, what's the next thing you want me to talk about? Clock it. Listen. Jennifer, Love Island fans will choose a person just to live through them. They don't care about these people. This is what I've said about Honda Civic. This is what I said about Honda Civic. That them people don't actually like her. They are attempting to live their lives through her, which is why they can't handle, and no shade, but a lot of fan bases do this. This is why they can't handle any critique of their faves, because it feels like a personal attack on them, rather than an acknowledgement that these people are fucking human. And so they're going to sometimes do things that's like, child, what was that? Like, they're humans. They're going to do some things that are like, I don't know about that girl. I don't know about that homie. I don't like that. You know what I mean? So yes, I agree. Do I think that Alandria and Michelle's friendship would have survived? Are you asking, like, would it have survived if Alan had not done that? Oh, despite the speed interview. Okay. I think this kind of plays into your question before, Ginger, around, do I think that Michelle and Alandria, like Michelle was ever Alandria's friend? I kind of think what you're thinking, period. It would have been faked. It would have been faked a little, who knows? I think that it would have lasted for a period of time. I think that it would have lasted for a period of time. I think that it would have been easier. Hi, Justin. I think it would have been very easy for Olandria to, thank you, Erica. I think it would have been very easy for Olandria to keep pouring into the relationship. It had to be something egregious, I think, for Olandria to really back up the way that she did. But she held it in such high regard. She valued that relationship so much, which validly so, for what it offered to her in the villa, that I think had it not been as egregious as it was, it would have lasted for a lot longer. I do believe that. I do believe that. And I've said to y'all before, and here's the thing, Jennifer Klabina, I like the girl, but when she called that man her bestie, that felt weird to me. And Olandria heard her say that too, and then went to the Hamptons, and still, when she did her podcast, was, that's my soul sister. I love her. So had it not been something egregious, she was going to maintain the relationship. They heard them say they were going to vote, that they wanted Amaya to win, that 3D was her bestie. She hanging out with 404. It had to be something egregious, because Alandria has a lot of grace. Alandria has a lot of grace. And I honestly believe that if he had not done that interview, that Michelle would have been able to ride that wave a little bit longer too. It would have been very easy to chalk up us not, hanging out or like spending as much time together simply on, well, we're busy. We're busy, and that's what's getting in the way, right? It would have been hard to be able to discern, like, oh, you're not hanging out with me because you don't want to, right? Because even her birthday, Olandria said, what are we doing for your birthday? There was no, it was not clicking. She didn't let me know what I had to ask. That didn't click, right? And that's whatever. But that's, again, it's easy to say, well, she's just busy. She's busy. And so we haven't been able to catch up. You know what I mean? And Nick really wanted to still be in relationship with Alan. So had that interview not happened, I think because Nick really wanted to be in relationship with Alan, and Olandria still felt like that was her soul sister, that would have coasted for a long while. And they would have chalked it up to other things. I think so. So I do think that it would, I don't know if it would have been a relationship that stood the test of time. You know what I mean? I don't know if it would have stood the test of time, but I do think that there always would have been, fond memories. It would have been like, when we see each other, it's still love. It would have been like, I still care about her. I still talk really fondly of her. I think that would have been true, even if the time that they spent together would have dwindled. And I do think that it would have dwindled. But I think it would have been easy to chalk up to, again, we're just busy. And Jasmine, Nick said that to her in the villa. You're loyal even when that loyalty is not returned. Bernice, listen. And at this point, it's like, whatever, I don't even care, because I feel like every single relationship that needed to dissolve did on its own. I know that people are mad at Nick for liking the post about Taylor making Clark his girlfriend. I have heard two thoughts around this. One thought being Taylor liked Nick liked the post because he did the I pick Clark thing and blah blah blah, and so it was like an I see you. It was a good, because now I have a Landria. Thank God you picked her, right? I think also when we think back to what Nick said on Watch What Happens Live, when they were like, do we think that that Taylor made the right decision? And he's like, that should be 100%. You know, like it could be just him playing into all of that. I also get it how people are like, Nick, you could just say nothing. You could just say nothing, you know? And he could be happy for them. He could be in a relationship with them. I just feel like I don't really care. He didn't comment what people are saying. I mean, I think he could have liked it because he thought it was cute, because he was happy for them, because whatever, right? Whatever the reason. I think we should not, outside of Nick saying something publicly, I don't really think that we should like draw gigantic conclusions from it. Y'all know that I am the person that's like, I think you could just not engage at all. Y'all know that. And I do think he's making a choice to engage with it. Why he's choosing to engage with it, we don't know, because all we got was a like. All we got was a like, so we don't know why. It was a choice, but we don't know why. He gets a messy feeling sometimes. And here's the thing about Nick. When y'all say he's loyal to a fault, I've said before, and I will say again, that I do feel like as a fellow March Pisces, we definitely do be wanting to see the good in people. We definitely will. That's what you was gonna say?
Yeah, he wants to see the good. I think that because of the being in the villa, but I think there's a side of like he wants to be friends with these guys, but he also knows they have a lot of problematic ways, so he struggles with that. With like, okay, can I actually be friends, right? Because as we know, birds of a feather flock together, without people thinking that like I'm the same way or whatever the case may be. If I don't call out their bad behavior, then does that come back on me? All of that stuff. So I think he struggles with like, I want to be friends with them, but.
Mm-hmm. So what y'all are saying, that's what I was gonna say, is that it's actually, he's not as loyal as people think he is. It takes, and I've said this before about myself, it might take a little bit longer, and y'all have heard me say this, but once we decide we not fucking with you, we ain't fucking with you. We ain't fucking with you. And sometimes, I'm a petty ass fucking Pisces. I am. I'm the person that I might, if I feel like you trying to be shady, I might let you know I seen it. I might. So So it's like, I could also see him being like, I'm just letting you know, I seen that shit. You know, because again, Taylor could have made the post without saying that. He's choosing to ride that wave, but I pick Clarksville, right? I'm just saying. Okay, did that answer the question? Somebody asked me what I'm eating. It's oatmeal and eggs, and Chris made it for me because he wants me to eat, and I have not been eating, and it's been sitting here for so long. Nick has been conflict averse since the villa. He's never been upset at someone long term. I actually don't even perceive Nick as conflict averse, but what I do see Nick as is like he's very nuanced, which is part of the reason why y'all watch me, because it's like I can say something critical, and that doesn't mean that I think that that's the whole person. You know what I mean? So like, I thought he showed up exactly how I probably would have showed up with Honda Civic when they sat down on the dock, right? And he's like, no, yeah, I think you should have gone home. Like, you being here fucking tripping, and I don't want you to feel left out. Like, I don't want you to feel ostracized from everyone. You know what I mean? Like, both of those things can be true at the same time. So I see him as very like nuanced, but I'm the same. My brain does the same thing. So like, I can understand that. It's like I was just in here, and I'm like, I be on Alan's ass, I be on 404's ass, and that don't mean I want to see you suffer. That don't mean I want to see you fucking in pain. That don't mean I want to see you fucking struggling. Like that's no, I'm not gonna say I don't hold a grudge. I'm not gonna say I don't hold a grudge. Cause y'all would be mad. No, I'm just kidding. If I said it, y'all would be like, Christina. Tina, what? Because I still got beef with Beyonce about how Destiny's Child got broken up. I still got beef, okay, from the early 2000s. So I'm not gonna say I don't hold a grudge. I would be lying. but I don't want to see nothing bad happen to you, you know. Y'all. So real. I'm gonna be honest. I'm so real. So yeah, like I can appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That like he can do more than one thing. I don't care, Erica. I can't let it go. I can't let it go.
I wouldn't say 5 good albums. I wouldn't go that
I can't let it go. Not you trying to call me stupid. If you're smart enough to see what Beyonce did, that's what why she did what she did. That's the difference. Exactly, sent one. Walk and chew gum. Nick made a comment about retiring both families. Love that for them. Love that for them, as they deserve. Oh, yeah, exactly. I did give a take on Sierra. Someone paid for me to talk about Sierra. You hold grudges for your mom? Listen. Okay, Divinity, what do you want me to talk about? Beyond the Villa cast, Yana? What about them? What do you want me to talk about, Divinity?
I want you to say something nice.
Say something nice.
Something nice.
I'm just such a nice guy. That's my problem. Okay, sorry, y'all. Edmund I'm never getting off his neck on that. Never Never gonna happen. Never letting it go.
All right, my bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I felt like it was like the perfect time.
Oh, what? Hold on now. Wait, what tea is this? Iris, TJ, Jeremiah, Pepe, and Austin are on the cast for Beyond the Villa for the new season.
Why?
The only one of them that I would be willing to watch, and only kind of, is Jeremiah. Only kind of. Jeremiah. Oh, that's gonna be whack. Yeah, how do y'all know this? Oh, Erica, oh my God, me and Chris have been making that sound. Me and Chris have been saying that sound just completely unprovoked. Of Edmund at the wedding, y'all. Like, I'm sorry, just like, what was happening, sir? Do I think that Nick and Ola must go? Divinity, say more so I can answer your question fully. Oh, so Pepe confirmed it to TMZ yesterday, and TJ and Iris alluded to it in a live with Jeremiah.
You see how they get mad ass. What?
Nick hinted at it.
It's a pick.
Are you asking, do I think if they should be on Beyond the Villa? Okay, do I think that Nick and Olandra should be on Beyond the Villa? Okay. No. I watched Beyond the Villa first season, okay? The reason why I say no is because really what it centered on this last season were the friendships. And I don't know that Nick and Olandria are friends with anybody to be on Beyond the Villa again. You know what I mean? It really centered on like we got some PPG content, not a lot, but we got a lot of like the conflict between Kaylor and Liv. We got the struggle between Kaylor and Aaron. We got some vulnerability between PPG. We didn't really get. There's nothing that I can imagine them going on that show and it being like, oh, I would wanna watch that. You know, I don't think that any of the people y'all have listed outside of maybe Jeremiah is even interesting enough to watch again. I would have preferred to watch Zach C do them fucking dances over and over again than to watch some of the motherfuckers they cast. Is that shit? I'm just saying. So like for me, I just don't know. Like Iris, TJ, Jeremiah, Pepe. What I feel like what we might see is like some nice little drama between Iris, Pepe, and TJ. That might be interesting. But if they run it like how they ran it last season, the cast weren't even forced to like be in contact with each other. The only time that we saw the cast all together, was when they went to Miami for swim week. And still not even really. Like the only way I would want to watch Beyond the Villa again is if they took them on like a vacation. Kind of like how they do like Real Housewives Getaway or whatever the shit is, where they bring housewives from different franchises together and they go on a vacation for a certain period of time. That would be interesting to me. I could see that because, again, I tell y'all all the time, right, that the dynamic of, wait, I don't know who they are. Ask that question again, about Leah and whoever the other person is. The dynamic of the cast will determine how the show goes. You know what I mean? And so, but if the cast is not together, then what are we watching? Oh, Janae and Leah's friendship dynamic, Tiara. Okay. What are we watching if the cast is not together? What are we watching? And what it was supposed to be was, according to Janae, was us watching them live their lives post-villa, going to shoots, doing this, doing that. And we saw a little bit of that, but it was like not really. Like, it wasn't done well, in my opinion. I don't think that Nick and Alandra need to go based on what we saw from Beyond the Villa first season. I don't know that it makes sense for them to be there. I don't know that it makes sense for them to be there. Because let me say this, a hot ass take, but y'all know me, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say, right? Because if Nick goes on that show and then it's too chummy, he a little too chummy with people that people think he shouldn't be chummy with, it's gonna be a problem. They're going to tear him up. Mm-hmm. And so why do that? Why do that? And then people, if Olandria goes on the show and she's too chummy with people, they're going to tear her ass up too. I don't see how they got the edit that they got as far as Olandria goes, right? The edit that Olandria got, I don't know what benefit it is to them to go on. I feel like they are bigger than the program. I feel like Nick and Alandria could hire a crew to follow them to do what BTB was supposed to be. And to drop little episodes on YouTube. And the fans would eat that shit up. They would eat that shit up. And then they're cutting out the middle person. And they're getting more of their money because they'll have brands that would be willing to have an ad placed, right? So now they're getting the money directly from the brander plus the platform. Let us see that. Let us see them spending time with their family. Like, people want to see their lives, right? And y'all know that I am a big advocate of they need to have boundaries with us as viewers. Y'all know that I'm a big advocate of that. I don't think we need to see everything. Because the way some of y'all, not y'all directly, but people, right? The way some of these people would have them on fucking OnlyFans if they could, you don't need to see everything about their lives, okay? We don't need it all. Okay? But like, give us the pieces. You know, curate the image the way that you want it to be versus what they would make it, right? You know, let me see you go to work and do your little shoot and then, oh, I'm going home for the holiday with my family, and oh, you know, I'm meeting up with my girlfriend for drinks and dinner, and we're talking about my relationship and what's going on. And let us see that. That would be adorable. I would watch that. But I don't need to see them on Beyond the Villa. No. Do I think Beyond the Villa needs them to come? Yes. But do I feel like they need to go? No. We're invested in them as individuals. Some people, right? and as a couple. But I think that if they could do it and they had full control of the way that their image was coming out, because here's the thing, y'all know I am never against being like, curate the image that you want to have. You get to pretend to be whoever the fuck you want to be on this motherfucker, okay? Do whatever you want to do. You know, I don't care about that. That don't bother me. You get to perform however you want to perform. So I don't think it's anything wrong with them curating the image to be what they want it to be. I don't think that's negative. I think that that is wise, especially, but see, here's the thing. Here's what goes back to them not watching the show, is that they don't really know how they were edited. They don't know how they got. Tina, y'all have to meet them. I should go to a meet and greet. I be feeling like I'm too old for that shit, y'all. But like, I feel like I would be annoyed by all the 20-somethings there. Oh my God, Erica. Okay, swear to God, I'm gonna get off today and I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get off today and I'll make it. And then I will post the link to it in my profile. But like, they haven't like, I feel like them 20-somethings, I feel like I would be in there fussing like I'm somebody's mama, because I am somebody's mama, you know? So I feel like I would be like, calm the fuck down. You're doing too damn much. Like, I feel like that would be me if I was in there. Like, I would just be fussing at them. Like, you're doing too much. Leave them alone. But like, but like them curating their own image, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. You know what I mean? I think that that would be good for them. You know? They need extra parenting. Like, I'm here for that, y'all. I would love that for them. I feel like they deserve, and again, this, like I said, this goes back to them not watching the show, so maybe not being clear about how Alandria was edited. And I told y'all the only reason I cared for her to go back and watch the show was that so as she was moving forward in her career, she could have a clear understanding of how these motherfuckers try to make me seem, so that she could control her image a little bit more. So like, I do think it's beneficial for them to know this is how they try to make me seem, because they recruited her for 3 years and that's still how they edited her. And so her just having an idea of like, how do I want to curate my image? You know, that's like the only benefit I feel like to them watching it back at this point, is to see how they want to curate themselves. Right. And so I'm here for them curating the image the way that they want her to, the way that she wants to. You know, her family probably did tell her, but that's only if the family clocked it. Right. So yeah, I think that no, they don't need to go. Beyond the Villa needs them to come, but they don't need to go. They don't need to go. They have now arrived at a space where I don't need your help. I actually don't think the bag is worth it. If they were paying them, I don't know how many episodes was Beyond the Villa this year, like 12 or 13, something like that. If they were paying them $1 million an episode, I still would be like, for what? For what? Why do you need to be there? I feel like you could get that doing your own shit.
More. Because if they're willing to pay you $1 million, that means they're making a lot more off of you.
You're welcome, Divinity. Thank you for sending the galaxy and asking. Somebody asked me a question, but I don't remember what you asked me. But yeah, y'all, not all money is good money. Oh, somebody said what was off about Beyond the Villa. I will say that what Janae shared, is that they were pitched the idea as like, oh, we're going to follow you in your life. What they didn't realize was what they meant was we're going to follow you in your curated life. We're going to have you move to LA. We're going to have you do certain things. And then we're going to follow you around doing those things. She thought that like different crews were going to be like, okay, we're with you in Vegas. We're with you here. And we're just following what you're doing. And then we're editing that together. And that's not what happened. I think that they pitched it as more of like a behind the scenes post Villa rather than like a Beyond the Villa where it is more like a Housewives, like, okay, you're all in the same place. We organize the scenes. We da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, and I think that goes back to like, Ilea has talked before about the 4 different types of reality TV shows that you watch. Like the level of editing and production that happens on each level. Oh, Antoinette, tell me what you want me to talk about. The type of the amount of editing and production that happens on each of those 4 different levels. I'm not going to get it right, so I'm not going to repeat it, but you can go to Ilea's page and watch the video. And I think that Janae didn't realize which type of reality TV show she was going to be on. And so that was her misunderstanding for sure. I can agree with that. I also don't know how they how did they pitch it where that's where she thought it was? Ooh, do I think that Alandria and the people around her understand the racism / misogyny that she experienced? By people around her, do you mean family or friends or both? Before I answer that. Okay. So Antoinette asked if I think that Alandria, her family, friends, the people around her were able to really recognize the racism and misogyny that Alandria experienced. I think yes and. The reason I say yes is because we've heard Alandria speak directly to this, right? We've heard her speak directly to being conscious of how she was going to be perceived on TV. So we know that she has a level of consciousness around it. And we know she didn't watch the show. So she's going to have a limited understanding of what she received because she didn't watch it. She didn't watch it. So she's not really clear about that aspect of it, right? But she knows that it's there. And I do think that she is clear. I do think that I wanted to make sure that I actually believe this statement before I say it out loud. I'll be trying to be conscious, right? I do think that she also knows that, that what she received from fan bases was fueled by that. I think that she's clear about that. Right? I think that she's clear about that. Do I think that they understand? This is why I say it's limited, okay? Because I think that sometimes they make decisions, and by they, I mean Nick and Alandria, that feel like they're underinformed around it, right? Because had they been fully informed, she wouldn't have been laid up, Honda Civic wouldn't have been laid up under her when they left the villa. If she really knew, if she really got it and the implications and the stretch that it had, but this again goes back to her not watching the show, she wouldn't have been laid up under her like that. They would have moved differently about some things, right? Now, what I will say, again, I think she has the consciousness, she has the intellect. It can be very hard to register certain things for what they are, though. That takes time, that takes practice, that takes experience, that takes exposure. And so I don't fault her for this. I think, you know, racism can be very insidious. Not all of it is overt. And I think that she's very clear about the overt stuff. I think the covert, sometimes it gets missed. Right? Because that is harder to spot, y'all. It's harder to spot. I don't know if I think that Nick had, and I don't know now. I don't know now if I think that they have the, and I'm going to give y'all another example of why I'm saying this. I don't know if I think that they have a full grasp on it. And I'll use 3D as an example. Because 3D, a lot of his shit was rooted in colorism. It was rooted in anti-blackness. And it was rooted in misogyny. And there was never a, I'm not fucking with you because that's how you move. It was never a, you can't be friends with that man and love me because of that. Like that we didn't, as the public at least, see that happen. We don't have any idea the conversations they had privately. No idea. But we don't, like, I think it's easier for them to spot when someone is, boom, in their face about something. It's harder to spot when it's covert. And to really be able to register it. Exactly, period. I think that for both of them, right? But like I'm almost 40 years old, and there are still times when I'll experience sexism or something, and it takes me, and I'm like, oh wait, I think they were being it take a little minute, you know, for me to like register it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not faulting them for that, but I do think that sometimes they don't have a full grasp. Hi, chocolate lover. Exactly, T. So I think a lot of it comes down to like age. A lot of it comes down to experiences. A lot of it comes down to just like exposure to certain things. Hi, cheesecake. No, I agree, Antoinette. I don't think it's misplaced. Christina said, well, to me, sometimes fans blow stuff up looking from the outside in, meaning like fans align. Hi, user. Hi, Nini. I am doing well. I hope you're well too, my love. Like, see, here's the thing, Ashley. I'm gonna say something about that. Hold on. So Antoinette, I don't think you're wrong. I think that sometimes we are like seeing it and we're like, why would they make that decision or make that choice? Christina, I'm wondering if you think, thank you so much, chocolate lover, if you think that fans are like making things bigger than they should be. I'm wondering if that's what you meant by that. Hi, Lorraine. Ashley said she would love to see their reactions to the shows. That would be a great YouTube as well. That would be a great YouTube as well. Get a camera crew. Y'all know, what was that one show, 90 Day Fiance or whatever, where they used to film people watching it on their couches, and they would film them watching the show? Do that. Make a bag. Get paid to do it. You know what I mean? And then just edit it, you know, so that we only get what you want us to see. That I'm okay with that, you know? But like, that would be cool to watch. That is a bag. People would pay for that. Ling, yes, somebody asked me, somebody asked me, well, Nick said that he was going to watch the show. And so I said, if they're going to watch it, I think that would be a great way for them to make some money doing it. Cause I think people would tune into that. Okay, Erica, tell me your question. That's a great point, Antoinette. Sakura, I hear you. Yeah. I mean, again, lots of us go undiagnosed or underdiagnosed, so maybe. They seem very triggered by the show. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they're triggered by it. And again, I don't think that they owe us that. I don't think that, like, y'all know I'm very comfortable with Nick and Alandria and all the Islanders, honestly, drawing boundaries. That does not fucking bother me at all. If they're going to watch it, I don't see why they can't make a bag from it. I agree, D. So we were talking explicitly about whether or not, at one point, about whether or not they should be on Beyond the Villa. And I said that I thought that the only benefit to them watching the show, which I've always said, would be for Alandria to understand how she was edited so that she can better control her image, because she should never get back in bed with them people. I don't know if we should assume that Nick wouldn't want to watch his interactions with Sierra, and same with Olandria and Taylor. I don't know if we should assume that. They might be so far removed at this point that it's like, oh, I am curious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that he's never spoken like negatively about that time. I mean, he cringes when people bring it up, but that's because people typically are not bringing it up around like, so what was that experience like for you? You know, blah, blah, blah. People are typically bringing up, oh, the journey. Ha, ha, ha. This minute, like, they're only bringing up him being sexual with her. That would make me cringe too. You know what I mean? I think it's about what they bring up. Okay, what my thoughts are on the Love is Blind season finale. Okay. Edmund. Oh, Calabria. KB and Edmund. Here's the thing. KB and Edmund, for me, glad that they did not get married. Very interesting that his perspective was, I did everything for her. I was so good to her. Motherfucker, you wouldn't go get belts and bandanas. If you don't shut the fuck up, don't piss me off, Edmund. Do not piss me off. Because what world are you living in? Not reality. Not reality. So here's the thing, Emily or Emoy. Tell me if I said that wrong. I don't know if you were here when I told everybody that Edmund's sister-in-law hopped into my DMs telling me about him. I will say this, both what she and KB said is that man on camera is a different person than what they experience in real life. So some level of exploitation, but also some level of he chose to play a character. I'm just saying. And he's grown. Grown. Because people on Love is Blind be 30 plus. So you grown. Except for Allie. She's young, right? 26, right? But yeah. So yeah. And here's the thing. I don't know why he picked that character either, Erica, because if the intention was to grow his real estate business, I wouldn't want somebody that I perceived as emotionally unintelligent, emotionally hysterical and not regulated. I wouldn't want you in the room negotiating for me. I don't trust you as my realtor. No. So that was not the character to play. Thank you for the follow. Ali and Anton, here's the thing for me. I don't appreciate how I have seen, so KB happened to come across my FYP and I looked at the comments and motherfuckers having so much fucking smoke for KB and none for fucking Ali pisses me off. Because why are you mad about KB coming to that altar and saying no, but you're not mad at Ali for the same fucking thing? Why are you not mad at Ali for the same fucking thing? And then to me, I just felt like, this season in general of Love is Blind felt like such a personification of like, or like a projection of the male loneliness epidemic. That's not funny, but it felt like I was watching the male loneliness epidemic in real fucking time. And the reason I say that is because all of these men knew that they weren't what these women wanted. They knew that. You can't convince me otherwise, right? Because Jordan and Megan's conversation around, oh, well, you knew that my life was like this. You knew I was gonna, and you knew what her life was like as well. You both knew. You both knew. But because you wanted to be picked so badly, and y'all are so fucking... The women wanted to be wives, and the men needed to be picked so that they're not lonely as well, right? You were willing to look over what you say you actually want. And it's like now, because you chose to ignore what your partner was saying they wanted, and you thought that what, the compromise was only going to come on their end? They were going to be the only ones to compromise? Because Edmund, you knew you wasn't getting no cat before you left the pods. Why are you crying in Mexico about being cooter free? I don't understand. You knew that. But because y'all don't fucking listen to women and you are emotionally unwell, okay, because Edmund was emotionally dysregulated. Jordan was dismissive of Megan's emotions every time she tried to bring up something. And Anton, he really wasn't trying to hear what Ali was saying. But because y'all lack these skills, now you're lonely. Now you're not picked. Because you thought it would just be compromised on their behalf. You thought you could lie and scheme. You thought you could pretend to be something that you weren't. And then the women would just compromise? Ain't no dick good enough. Like even all that crying and snotting and shit that Madison and Annie were doing, I'm not convinced if they had gotten to the altar that they would have said yes either. So I guess my thoughts are, this is what happens when the goal is to be picked and to avoid emotional accountability and intelligence. Because Jordan, Megan is trying to talk to you about, yes, there will be a reunion. Megan's trying to talk to you about what she's struggling with emotionally in the relationship, and you're being dismissive. You defend yourself for 10 minutes before you get to the place of, okay, I hear you. Well, now I'm exhausted. I don't want to hear nothing else you're saying. So yeah, it felt like the loneliness epidemic in real time, and definitely pick me culture. Wait, what? Renice, what? Megan had a baby?
Wait, what? That's crazy. That's true, that's crazy.
I mean, good for her, I guess. But here's the thing. To me, it was never about her saying, I don't want to be a mother. It was her saying, I don't want me being a mother to mean that I can't also live my life. Megan had a baby. So I think Megan is like the hire a nanny. Megan is the, let's travel with the nanny. She just wanted to still be able to live her life. But that goes back to, what did I tell y'all about Megan? She says she wants one thing, but she's living her life, yes, in a different way. Megan from Love is Blind. Because she let that man believe she wanted to wash his dishes and pick up behind him and be a trad wife. Because she believes in gender roles. Allie the same. But then Allie was talking about wanting a nanny, and that's definitely where Megan is. Like, y'all don't... Yeah, no. You don't mean it. You're just talking. You don't mean it. You don't actually want those things. You just think you do. I'm wondering, did she have a baby with a person, or did she choose to like do artificial insemination? Yeah, exactly. Allie wanting to be a traditional wife, but wanting to go back to school and not cook and clean. Like, I don't think you understand what being a trad wife is. You want feminism with a trad wife writer. That's what you want. Okay, so she has a fiance, y'all are saying. Exactly. They have contradictory values to what they say they actually want in life. That's not how they're living. And so I'll be curious to hear if Megan even talks about it in the reunion, like, right? Whether or not the father is a wealthy man who is also down to also like still live the life that she wants to live. Just hire a nanny and live that life. Erica, exactly. That's one of the things I have clients do when they say that they want to be in a relationship. Tell me what you actually want. And then when they start doing shit, I'd be like, so on XYZ day, you said, you know what I mean? That's going to be interesting to me if he is a wealthy man. What does the balance look like? Because what she complained about with her billionaire boyfriend was that he worked too much. He didn't have the time to give to her. He didn't have the time to give to her. So what do you think happens when you have a baby? What do you think happens when you have a child? Christina said I would be that client. Listen. I'd be like, now hold on now. You tell me. No. Like, so it'll be interesting. I don't know. That's what she said, Lex Child. I'm just taking the woman at her word. I don't know shit. Maybe she lied. And that's the thing, T. A lot of women be saying they want certain things, but you're not willing to actually trade off what you would have to trade off in order to get it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to know yourself well enough to know that. You should know that about yourself. I'm actually not willing to give up certain things. It will depend on what he does. Maybe he has a job where he has more time. You know what I mean? But I felt like, yeah, I was watching a lot of women outside of KB. Outside of KB, I felt like I was watching a bunch of pick-me women who just wanted to be married. The title meant more than anything. And I was watching men who did not have, outside of, and I know y'all be mad because I be low-key kind of Team Joe a little bit. But like outside of, like, yeah, I don't feel like the men had the emotional capacity to really show up the way they needed to. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have any more thoughts. Anton, I felt like Allie made too big a deal out of that, if I'm honest. You know, that's just my personal opinion. It's not that abnormal for people to come home from work and have 1 to 2 drinks. How you feel about that is your personal business, right? But he's not getting sloshed every night unless he was, and we just don't know that, right? But that's not what you said. She just had judgments about how frequently he drank. Erica, Andrew, like, I felt like she was making too big a deal out of that. And I'm not even somebody that does that. Like, that probably would be like a thing for me too. But I know that about myself. So I wouldn't pick a partner that does that. Personally, you know. Erica said, Tina, don't tell me you be in those sessions telling people that they values and wants don't align. And I do. What it usually is me saying, you said you want this, but your actions are doing something different than that. So where's the disconnect? She didn't like that he was a truck driver, and neither did her friends. They was talking shit about it. Her mom also had an issue with it because in her culture, they don't drink at all, but Allie does drink. Nikki said, but where did the alcohol go? I'm sure that he drank it. But again, me having a shot and 2 beers every night. Oh, she said that this liquor disappeared over the course of 10 days. Or for him, it would be like when he gets off of work, which would be in the morning. Is it keeping him from doing anything? Like, is he now becoming aggressive? It's like, what's happening? Or is it just the fact that he's drinking? And if you feel that way, then that should have been a question you asked in the pods. Do you drink? Because I don't like drinking. That fanatic. Anton lost me when he was looking in the fridge for the tequila. No, on God, because nigga, you knew that shit was gone. You knew that shit wasn't in the goddamn fridge.
Oh, God,
you knew it was gone. But my thing is, right, then you should have just said in the pods, I don't like people that drink. And then we could have ended all, we could have not even been in this position. But you was too busy being like, because he said y'all both worked at McDonald's when y'all was 16. Girl. Stop. That is not what you think it is, okay? It is not what you think it is. So yeah, she was too busy being nose wide open about shit that didn't matter. You know? Exactly, Tay. Drinking/substance use would totally be an important topic in the pods. Like, there are certain things so I know that I don't want a partner that does that. I know that about myself. I'm one of those people that I would swipe right if you told me that you smoke cigarettes because I don't like the way smoke tastes. So I wouldn't want to kiss you in your mouth because I don't like the way that smoke tastes when it lingers. But I know that about myself. I'm not going to get with somebody and then be like, well, I didn't realize you smoked every day. Like, I thought you were a lighter smoker than this. You know, like, girl, you knew you was going to feel away. Listen, T. What it is a lot of these people don't know themselves. And so they get in the pods thinking what they're saying is important. And then they get out in the real world and they realize, oh, that was surface. That actually isn't the conversation we needed to be having. I felt like KB asked good questions, but she wasn't. That discernment around what that man was saying to me was like, I don't know what. Because I immediately clocked when she said, how did you forgive and move on with your mom? And he said, well, I know that my mom loves me. I was like, so he didn't do nothing. And to me, that means you're emotionally immature and you don't know how to deal with difficult emotions. And now that's already telling me something about how you're going to be with me. I don't know why she didn't clock that. She was like, oh, I love that. Like, What is there to love, sis? What is there to love? So yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you for the gifts. So yeah, y'all, I don't know. So yeah, y'all, I gave y'all a lot of Love Island stuff today. I haven't talked about them. I mean, I talked about them on my last live with y'all. We talked about 404. I gave y'all a lot of Love Island stuff today. Beyond the Villa. I'm sorry, Iris, TJ, Pepe. Who else did y'all say? That Jeremiah. I just don't know what's going to be fun about them to watch. Again, I would be here for some drama with Iris, Pepe, and TJ. I would be here for that, but are we going to get that? Like, unless they started filming already when all of that shit was going down, I feel like we're not even going to get it anyway. And Jeremiah, playing mediator. Curry, so what they told me in my live is that, see, listen, I'm not even gonna, I wouldn't even want to watch Hannah. I think it's odd that Hannah's so close with Iris. Because Iris is booed up with TJ. I don't know. Hi, Rye. So yeah, they were saying that I guess Pepe confirmed it to TMZ. And Iris alluded to it and TJ alluded to it in a live. And I think somebody said Nick might have asked or alluded. For me, it's not even about them sharing a man. For me, it's just, I wonder about your values. I wonder about your values. And user, I don't think that they would ever sign 404 to a contract again, because I think that they know they would get too much like public outrage about it. The public lobbied to get that girl off of Love Island. Can you imagine what they would do if then Peacock decided they were also going to cast her for Beyond the Villa? I don't think that would ever happen again. I think that they're going to give her the same treatment that they gave Kenny. Like, they've unfollowed him. They're not engaged. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they think they could get away with that. Not yet. From Iris's mom being in that live, I don't think she has many values or thoughts, if we're honest. Iris is kind of like watching paint dry. Like, what does Iris bring? I feel like she's just always kind of like looking around, pouty lipped, and that's it. Is that shady? Is that shady? Like, wait, who was in your comments for 2 days on a video you made about Pepe? Are you talking about Iris or her mama? Either way. So did Iris ever say anything about the Pepe cheating rumor? She, as far as I know, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, because you know I don't like watch everything, but I don't know that she ever directly said he did or didn't. I think she like alluded to him cheating, but I heard, thank you, Divinity. I heard that Oh, that's odd. But I heard that he alleged that she cheated when it came to TJ. That's what I heard. He alleged. I haven't been keeping up with either one to know if he actually did or not. I will say that I don't, her mom said that he was harassing them at her job. I feel like she let him take the heat too. I don't know if I believe that Pepe cheated. Here's the thing. I don't like to believe people. I don't like to believe things about people without being able to lay my eyes on something. Personally, I don't like to believe things without being able to say, oh, I saw something or heard something myself that made me say, okay, yeah. And so for me, it's like, one, Iris said they're not together. Number one, she said that they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. She said that. I agree. For me, Erica, it's like, I'm supposed to believe he was fucking in a lobby. To me, that just seems so fucking outrageous. That seems so fucking outrageous. That's really hard for me to believe. Without being like, oh, there's video evidence or someone else outside of this girl, caught it or saw it. Like, it was just like, that is so, what? The lobby of the hotel he's staying at, bitch, why wouldn't y'all just go to the room? Like, it was so outlandish to me that I'm like, nah, it's gonna have to be something other than that for me to get on that train. Like, I'm sorry. No. Exactly. Then she magically disappeared and we haven't heard from her since. Like, yeah, so many people immediately bought it. You were always skeptical. I was never like, for me, I was never going to believe that without additional evidence, without additional, proof. Even those girls that came out and said that, like, when the Islanders had just left the villa and them two little girls, they weren't little girls, but young ladies who were talking about Brian and Chris and whoever the fuck they was talking about, but they was talking about Brian cheating on Amaya. They at least had video of them being in the same place as this man. Girl, you got on Snapchat with just a caption and a video of yourself. What? No, that's not enough for me to be like, maybe, I don't know why, LOL, but I'm low-key upset at how people are treating Pepe, especially Islanders. I think that Pepe is catching a lot of flack. I think he's catching a lot of flack. Some of it I feel like he deserves. Antoinette, I do think he slept with someone else. I think he's not calling it cheating because he wasn't boyfriend, girlfriend. And here's the thing. I feel like here's the thing. I feel like I don't want to assume that they hadn't had conversations. I don't want to assume that they didn't have understandings. I don't want to assume that. And so for me, it's like when they got on, exactly, Nikki, when they got on the reunion and he was like, yes, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. And she was like, no, we're not. I was like, or she was like, she couldn't get the words out. I was like, oh, they not on the same page. But Iris's mom confirmed he cheated because what? Iris told her he did? Like, that's not evidence to me. That's like when people were telling me, oh, the roommate confirmed it. Did he fuck the roommate? How can the roommate confirm it? Like, for all I know, when Iris went and did her meetup for her closure conversation, they was closure conversationing. I don't fucking know. fucking know. For me, Jasmine, that closure conversation, my opinion was that closure conversation was always a planning conversation. Because watch back the reunion, y'all. Watch back the reunion and TJ's response. It was giving, he was looking to Iris to see what he should and should not say. And then he just settled into an answer when Iris said something. It was always giving a planning conversation. I'm sorry. Not sorry. So for me, even if Pepe did fuck on somebody else, Iris said that they were not in a relationship. They were only exploring each other, or whatever the fuck she said at the reunion, right? And I think I would believe it completely if that closure conversation was them wrapping their legs around each other. They was closing the spaces between their bodies. I could believe that. Faster than I could believe Pepe had sex with somebody in the lobby of a hotel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That to me is more believable. Jumped right back in like nothing happened. Think about their body language when she went to meet up with him. She jumped into his arms. Like it just, y'all, that is more believable. That was more believable than Pepe doing it in the lobby. Now, I just feel like, girl, if you're going to have a story, have a story. You know, y'all in the hotel room and you know, like get a little Michael Darby on them. You know, take a little picture while they sleep in bed with you. Give us a story. But otherwise, girl, I ain't trying to hear nothing you saying. Oh, yeah, Jasmine. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? Hi, Mrs. 67. Thank you for the heart me. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's for me, dark-skinned lover girl, the girl had pictures of her and Pepe being together that week out on the golf course, if I remember correctly, right? That's not the same thing as you caught me in the bed. Girl, he's taking pictures with fans all the time. It's just, to me, it was a little outlandish. And Jasmine, I'm with you. Whether he cheated or not, I'm not fucking with that man for shit outside of that. For shit outside of that, I'm not fucking with that man. That's why I feel like some of the smoke he gets is warranted. Now, the redaction and all that stuff, that they doing too much. I need people to touch grass. Like, you doing too much. You don't need to be telling that man to redact himself and you gonna redact him and his family. You're doing too much. Exactly, Jasmine. Exactly. So yeah, I don't know, y'all. And here's the thing, you're right. They're all in their 20s, so messiness will be made. I can't relate. I lived my 20s a little bit differently, but I don't have no judgment for it. I do feel like she let him get dragged maybe unnecessarily. And I don't know why she don't get no smoke for that. Austin did say Pepe knows how to turn it on and off. He never addressed it and was still with her after she made that Snapchat. And was. And didn't. The most that he said was that the truth would come out. I don't know why they try to play coy. Oh, I didn't hear anything about Love Island Game Season 2 cast being messy. Yeah, Ashley. So for me, it's like, and here's the thing, even if he did sleep with somebody else, y'all, even if he did cheat, I still, like you're saying, Ash, that people are having too big of a reaction around that. Iris was able to paint herself a jilted lover, even though none of us know what happened during that closure conversation. Because why Pepe didn't go? Why did it need to be had in private? That was her man. I'm just saying, y'all, it felt like a planning conversation. I'm gonna go back. Maybe I'll go back to the reunion and I'll clip the part that I'm talking about, because it gave to me in the moment when I was watching it, like, oh, they on some fuck shit. They on some fuck shit. That's what it gave to me. So I was not shocked when not only did her and Pepe break up, but she got back with TJ, because I somewhat was expecting that to happen. Thank you, Chris. TJ went back to work. Like all of their asses should have. Honestly, so did Elan. Elan went back to work, and I know that anyway. I agree, Vibe Lounge. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. And I agree. Season 7 was absolutely a fucking mess. He ended up quitting his job, right? Good for him, I guess. I don't know. What if 404 and Pepe got together? That feels like, why would we think that would happen? And I know, so here's the thing about Pepe too. I will say that Pepe is kind of corny, right? Him being on live talking about other Islanders are getting gigs because I'm turning them down. Pepe, don't. You turning them down so you can do shoppable lives, so you can be QBC on fucking TikTok. Shut up. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So you can do infomercials.
So you can do infomercials on fucking TikTok. Don't do that. Don't play with me. Even the guy that was... Y'all, the guy that was there with him holding the fucking box, that was like... cracking me up. And here's the thing, period. Here's the thing. There are some people that do like doing shoppable lives on TikTok, right? You can make a shit ton of money doing shoppable lives on TikTok, but you have to literally be on that motherfucker all day long in order to do it. You know what I mean? You have to be on, like, that's literally your job, right? And people make lots of very good money doing it, but not someone of Pepe's caliber that had the notoriety and the platform to be able to be doing something different. No. That's not what you're choosing. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Curse it out the comment. And Pepe is about to go on. So here's what we might get. Pepe is about to go on Beyond the Villa and try to rewrite his narrative. The reason he's hated more than Brian at this point is because I feel like Pepe hasn't gotten out of the public eye. Right? Brian did what the fuck he did and has really kind of just went and been quiet. He ain't did no interviews that I know of, right? Other than just like doing his own social media stuff, like Pepe's not doing that. Pepe was like, let me go. Like, he's about to try to redeem himself. Yeah, they already renewed it for season 2, Lady Russell hat. And Brian went back to his regular life in a lot of ways. And so what will happen is Brian will stay gone long enough where when he decides to come back in the public eye, people will have forgotten or they won't care anymore. And he'll be able to be successful. As far as I know, it's just season 7. They were saying that Pepe, Iris, TJ, Jeremiah, and Austin are all confirmed so far. Exactly, Jasmine. Pepe wants to go back to summer camp and nobody wants to see that. So we knew he was going to go back to Beyond the Villa because that's what he wants, is for all the boys to be back together again. Brian made it. Thank you, Erica. Brian made it seem like his mental health was a big deal, but you don't think so. I don't know if it is or not, honestly. Like, I don't know. I don't watch enough of his stuff, you know, to like know whether or not. I'm just going to take him at his word. You thought Austin had smoke with them? Maybe that's what we'll get to see. Maybe that's what will make it entertaining. But here's the thing. That's kind of why I felt like Beyond the Villa was whack. Because, I mean, I liked Beyond the Villa. Don't get me wrong. But it didn't reach its full potential is what I'll say. Because PPG, if you're not going to give us the drama, cool, but show us more PPG. Let us see the friendship. Let us see the couples. Let us see that, right? But like, I don't know. I just feel like it didn't reach its potential. You think he tried to use it as a selling point? Do I think Amaya is fading out of the spotlight? I don't think Amaya was ever in the spotlight, if I'm honest. I think even when she originally came out of the villa as the winner, she wasn't in the spotlight. In my opinion, Olandria and Nick were always the highlight of the season. Personally. Because and that could just be because of how my algorithm is. That could just be because of the spaces that I'm in, right? But it's like, I felt like every time they were in a room with the runners up, the focus was on the runner up and not the winners. Even when they were on Watch What Happens Live and the question got posed to the audience of which couple would last the longest or which couple, whatever the question was, Nicolandria was the vote. And I feel like, and I've said this before, I feel like Amaya was always giving, once she left the villa, she was always giving, trying to find her next little memeable moment. She was trying to find her next like big thing, you know, her little like quote. And it was forced. Like, I don't feel like what we get from Amaya is authentic. I don't feel like it's real. I feel like it's a performance that she's doing for the public. And the problem with that is when you perform, you can only keep up the performance for so long. And I feel like that's why Nicolandria, Serena and Cordell, Leah and Miguel, I feel like this is why they were successful, is because they were authentic. People want to believe that they're getting the real version of you. And the thing about being authentic is that it doesn't have to be transparent, but is it authentic? You don't have to give every single part of yourself, but what you're giving real? There might be some pieces that you hold back for yourself, and that's okay. There might be some things that you keep private. There might be some things that you keep, I don't want to give this to the public. That's okay. But is what you're giving authentic? And I think that was the problem for Papaya. right, is that thank you, Gigi, is that like even when we watched her those couple times on live where she wouldn't realize they were on live when she came in the room, and then you would literally watch her switch, the voice would change, the whatever she was saying would switch. She was turning on. And it's one thing to do it in the villa where you're edited, and so we don't see you pretending, for the people that couldn't discern it, right? It's another thing to be in the real world and be trying to do that all the time in your regular life, where you're going to be filtered through mediums that are less edited, right? When TMZ catches you on the street or you're on a live, like that's less edited. It's edited through a lens of what they want to shape and give to you. Exactly, Jasmine. She was not code switching. She was cosplaying. Yeah, I feel like, so I feel like that is reason why she is less successful. And not that she's doing badly. I don't think she's doing badly. I mean, as far as I know, but like she is definitely performing, and people like authenticity. It's why certain people do well on this platform and certain people don't. You know what I mean? Because people like to feel like they know you. They like a level of authenticity. When it feels too produced, when it feels too performative, people don't resonate. They don't connect with that. And because they are public personas, this is not, and unfortunately, they're public personas in an era where we have a lot of access to celebrities. We have a lot of access to celebrities. It's not the same as we only ever knew something if the tabloids put it out.
Oh, I can't give no more money, please.
You know what I mean?
Money gun. Topics.
Oh, I mean, you still can, but I took it down. Why do we equate success with the celebrities you are around? I don't know. Are people doing that? I don't know. Hi, Kim Possible. I don't think that she's doing badly as far as I know. I think that she doesn't have the level of acclaim that maybe she or other people thought she would have, because I do think there is a lack of authenticity. People, again, it's not the same as, again, back in the day when it's like, the tabloids, they had to be rummaging through your trash for us to know this little piece of information about you. No, y'all are too accessible. Y'all are very accessible, right? Your own social media, you're posting. We have access to so much more from you. So now people want to feel connected to you. That's what tabloids used to give us before, but now you're curating it yourself. And if it feels inauthentic, people are going to not connect with that.
That's so funny. They really used to be doing that.
For real. They sitting outside your house trying to grab pictures of you, and that's what people like, is seeing you in your element, this unfiltered, authentic version of you, right? And so now you're choosing to put out your own image, but if it feels inauthentic, people they may not know what it is, but they're not going to be able to resonate in the same way. Okay, Erica, am I horrible for wanting celebrities to go back to not talking except for on interviews? I literally was going to make a video about this because I'm like, I actually miss the times when I didn't know as much about y'all as I do. I miss not knowing so much about you. I miss that. So I don't disagree with that. Iman said, what do you think about Alan saying he's going to take Michelle to the Maldives and then taking her to St. Lucia instead? I don't think about it. I don't really think about it, if I'm honest. I don't actually care. No, like, I'm not trying to be shady. I just feel like, whatever. She was happy. Like, Oh, here you go. Huh. What do I think about girlfriend proposals? Y'all, multiple people have just asked me that. What do I think about girlfriend proposals? I think I don't understand it, right? But I understand that things change with the times. And so what I mean by that, right, is like we weren't doing promposals when I was in school. That wasn't a thing. It was just like, hey, do you want to go to prom together? You know, like it wasn't a big production. And so for me, I don't understand it, but I'm not necessarily hating on it, you know. It is absolutely performative. I get that, you know. Adelaide, I said the same thing. I said the same thing. I think that they're playing coy for the public. And I'll say this. People are saying, you know, when it's so elaborate, you know, they're doing all these like elaborate things. I will say this. This is going to sound shadier than I mean it to, y'all. Okay. I'm just going to be honest. It's going to sound shady. I'm sorry in advance. Some people are never going to get a marriage proposal. Some people are never going to have a wedding. That's not going to be in the cards for them. And so I am not against people choosing to have big celebratory moments for things that we think are not that big of a deal, or other people might think are not that big of a deal. That doesn't bother me. Ain't no skin off my back. You know what I mean? But I'm also not a person that likes grand gestures in that way. It feels performative to me. And it's always felt like, is that for me or is that for you? You know, like for me personally. So I would never want something like that. Like, y'all, when Chris asked me to marry him, I literally laughed in his face the entire time. And not because I was like dogging him, but the shit was just like, so like, this is so corny to me. Like, personally.
No, she was dogging me, Cass. She was dogging me. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. Don't try to take that and run with that. It's a joke.
So it's like, to me, it makes, exactly, Ashley, like, it just makes me cringe personally, you know? But it's like, no, I agree that, like, you can ask, like, will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend? You know, like, I think that makes sense. I'm not mad at big grand gestures. It feels performative to me. I am easily cringed out as well. You know what I mean? So like that, it doesn't bother me, you know? I will say that, like, I will say, and I saw your question, I'm going to answer it too, about my perspective as a married woman for the natural progression of dating. I will say too that I do think that to some extent it's not weird for people to be like, why are you putting it on the internet? I don't think that that's like weird for people to have that take. And I think to some extent, somebody else already said in the comments, like, that's always going to feel to some extent a little bit performative. You and Gigi. That to some extent is always going to feel a little bit performative simply because it's on the internet. Right? And again, times change. Times change, right? We post a lot more of our lives on the internet than we did before. You know? And a lot of people do find validation from the internet. Mm-hmm. Whether that is healthy or not is a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation, right? I do think that, and I hear that too, right? Antoinette, you also are setting yourself up because, baby, if you break up, right, then you see people having to like social media cleanse and delete everything from the other person because now I need to like wipe it away and make it like it never happened. But I don't think it's that big of a deal if people are choosing to do it. You can have your own judgment about it. You can have your own feelings about what makes sense for you in your life. It ain't really no skin off my back what the fuck you got going on over there, though. You know what I mean? I think promposals are weird. I feel like it's a lot. And here's the thing. And I will say I agree with that. Don't use it to shade another couple, because I have seen some people make comments like, oh, Nick hasn't done this for Alandria or what. Baby, they had a whole fucking commercial where they confirmed their relationship. So they don't got to do this. That's so weird. That's so weird. Just be happy for the people that you say that you like. Like, why are you bringing them in it? Like, that's so odd. Like, what? But I think promposals are a little bit odd. And I feel like sometimes that pressure that then comes from it being public, I don't like that personally. You know? Lane 78, you sound like a hater, boo. Like, I think that's a little bit like when a man, like, for example, when Offset got on the stage begging Cardi to take him back at that concert. How would she have looked if she had said no in front of all them people? It's giving pressure. And why? So I don't love that aspect of it. Exactly. Jumbotron proposals. And then people be mad at the woman if she has the courage to say no. So I don't love that aspect of it. So for me, promposals, when you're doing all that at school and shit, that is weird to me. Unless your girl has explicitly asked for it. Or the person. Whoever you're proposing to. If they've asked for that, if you know that they like things like that, fantastic. Wonderful for y'all. I do think that having completely produced videos around certain things, like, again, I do believe in them being able to curate their own images. Y'all know that. I believe in that. And I just don't know if everything is our business. Like, am I going to have to watch the birthing of the child too? Like, I mean, not that I have to watch it, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like, does everything need to be for everybody? Exactly, T. Exactly. Christine, yes, I do. And so here's the thing with even 3D asking Clark. I don't understand. Listen, Jasmine, how is a private relationship being called fake versus the one doing it for the cameras? The person that was just in my comments just now, Nick only ever talks about his relationship in relationship to brand deals. No, that's just what you get to see. That's just what you get to see. Because none of the rest of that shit is your fucking business. None of the rest of that shit is your fucking business. And yes, I agree, Rachel. And y'all would be, if he was doing the shit publicly, if they were, y'all would be like, oh, look at them performing. Oh, they're so performative. Don't be weird. They mind the business that pays them, period. Exactly. And Nick and Olandria have been clear about that since they left the fucking villa, that some shit is our business and not yours. As they fucking should. Like, not everything is your business. But this goes back to me saying we have too much access with social media these days. These motherfuckers need to go back to only having US Magazine and Gossip and YM and fucking National Enquirer. They need to go back to, that's the only way that you know what's going on, so you can fucking chill out.
Or just a plain old newspaper.
Chill out. You know? As he should, user. Wait, I think that's Nene. Jet Magazine, listen, they need to know what it's like to really struggle. To really struggle to know what's going on with your babes. You know, if we wanna keep it a buck, is this an honest statement, y'all? I feel like no. I feel like Brandy was the start of too much access. Do y'all remember when Brandy had the reality TV show? I feel like it was on MTV when she got pregnant and she was married, but they wasn't really married. And it was following her relationship and the baby being born. I feel like that's the first time I can remember, at least, of us getting like reality TV level access to a celebrity. And then I feel like the Kardashians are who blew it up. Exactly, dark skin lover girl. Jessica Simpson and Brandy, were they at the same time? And so I feel like that's what really sent us down this path of, oh, we deserve all this access. You know, we started with cribs and it's like, okay, we get to see your nice house. And then it just got progressively more and more in they fucking business. And we ain't been able to recover since. And now y'all are mad. Not y'all. Y'all know I'm not talking about y'all, right? But now y'all are mad when you don't have fucking access. And now it's, oh, they're fake because you don't have access. No, they're just living out their lives the way that old school celebrities would have lived out their lives. Clock it. They used to be faking the houses. Well, Nikki, but those were regular people initially. Those were regular people initially on Real World. I'm saying us getting actual access to people that already had celebrity, not that built it. I can't remember what came first. But, and listen, I watched Brandy's show and I watched Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. Right? So I watched it. I used to be a US Magazine girly. I used to be whatever the fuck, okay? I used to be on the gossip sites. I want to know. But I also had to choose to seek out that information versus it just being readily available. Jessica and Nick was good. That's when I really started to appreciate Jessica's voice. When they said that she needed to go back in the studio to basically dumb down her vocals so that the audience could sing along with it, I was like, not them basically telling our girl to be less than. Me too, period. Me too. Me too. You know? But I will say, someone said poor Clark because she's gotten completely caught up in the girl Nick got caught cheating with the activated her page. Why are you over here telling lies? Why are you over here telling lies? Y'all so annoying. That Clark got caught up in Taylor's life and has no identity of her own. Okay, this is going to be shady. This is shady. This is shady. Did she have one in the villa? Who said that? I'm just asking. I'm just wondering. So I'm not saying that she's not capable. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that she's not capable of having her own. I'm not saying that she doesn't have the potential to have her own. I'm saying, when did she ever give that to y'all? When did she ever give, I'm driven? When did she ever give, I want this on my own? I want to push myself forward. I want to build. When did she ever give that? She was willing to be laid up under that man every single day in that villa, and that's it. And that's okay for her. That's okay for her. And listen, if that includes her being embarrassed, but that's what she feels, and maybe she doesn't feel embarrassed. If that includes her doing things that the rest of us might consider embarrassing, but she is okay with that, that is her fucking business. That's her fucking business. That you don't understand how money works, because that ain't his money, that's his parents' money.
Right. He's not rich.
He live at home with his mama and his daddy.
His parents are rich. Does he maybe benefit sometimes? Yes. But his parents are rich. That's why he's able to live at home.
And I tell y'all all the time, here's the thing for me, right? Like, I don't never, it's not no woe is me or woe is her, right? For me personally, because I am a clinician, so I know how to have a healthy detachment from people's choices. There are some people that I see you 1 hour a week, every week for months on end. I cannot be attached to your choices ultimately. I'm going to hold the space for you to do the self-discovery, for you to do the work, for you to make hopefully informed, but I cannot be attached to your choices ultimately. So even when I'm watching them, even when I'm like, ooh, girl, I'm not attached to it. I'm not attached to it. I don't care. Exactly, Sparkle. While I wouldn't recommend it, it's not my, I don't care. This is Taylor's second time being booked to be someone's man. Love Island brought Taylor for Oleandria. Listen, I watched what the I don't ever watch Pop the Balloon, because to me it's a humiliation fucking ritual.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
That is a humiliation ritual. And I'm sorry, but people get paid to do that. I'm not. Why are y'all doing that shit for the free? I take. So for me, it's like, I'm not attached to her outcome. As far as whether or not, 3D will become a doctor, okay, great. Great. And right, he's going to become a veterinarian. Okay. You are not Charlene.
You. That's fucked.
Charlene.
Hey. I see no lies there.
I'm crying. Bayor must be 3D. Hey, Tay Tay. Taylor's taking care of his girl good, not partying with college girls. So what you're telling me is he's not working. Woo! Yeah, like Miss Petty. Y'all. So my thing is, I don't, great for him. Great. I'm sure we need more black vets. We need more black everything. Good for him. But right now today, hi Miriam. Right now today, he just got her cleaning horses as far as we know. And if she likes it, great for her. Not what she said in the villa. But sometimes you have to compromise if you want to be picked, I guess. I mean, what do y'all want me to say? She can do whatever she want to do. That's her life. Mish. Okay?
For the free ski.
And I will say this. I'm definitely not like exactly quiet thoughts. She don't want to be saved. That's her business. The only conversation I feel like, and I've said this for a long time, y'all know this. I feel like the only conversation to be had around Taylor and Clark is really about what the public is recognizing is not okay. Because like that person coming in here just now, oh, he's taking care of her. He's spending money. He's this, he, that. If you feel like money is enough to tolerate some of the things that she has tolerated, then baby, you need to work on your self-esteem. You need to work on your self-confidence. You need to think more highly of yourself. You need to feel like you deserve better than that. Hi, Blessing Report. You need to feel like you deserve more than that. Like that's the only conversation to be had around them too, because she's going to live out her life how she wants to live out her life. Not you reporting the live, you weirdos. She's going to live out her life how she wants to live out her life. But what the public needs to be able to do is to see it, clock it, and then choose something different for themselves. Miss Petty, they mad. Like, that's all that y'all need to be doing. Iman Nasir, here's the thing I'm going to say about that. Why are people judging relationships only based on TikToks? I don't know anybody that is.
Right.
I don't know anybody that is judging their relationship or Michelle and Alan's just based on TikToks. Even people judging Olandria and Nyx. Because they don't got no TikToks to judge it off of, right? I don't know anybody doing that. Personally. I will say exactly, T. I will say that like my assessment is based on what I saw in the villa, and not just to Clark, but also to Olandria. Oh, that's true too. And based off what I see on the lives. I always feel like, and I said this to y'all all the time, the lives are more data than a curated TikTok. And here's the thing, to that point, Aman, they're saying because they post they're the real couple. That goes back to people feeling like, no, dark-skinned lover girl, they took him away. Pissed me off. But that goes back to people feeling like performative love is that performance is the only way that you can then determine whether or not a relationship is real. It doesn't matter what's actually happening in the relationship. What matters is the performance of the relationship. right? Which is why to them it's like, oh, well, he did big grand gestures. He loves her so much. Like somebody was in here earlier, whichever couple they was talking about, either Taylor and Clark or Michelle and Alan, he loves her more than Nick loves Alandria. First of all, shut up, because why is it a competition anyway? That's, babe, you're funny. I'm about to block you. Okay, never mind. You're blocked. You're blocked. Blocked. But like, why? Why do you think that? Because you see a particular performance. You see a particular performance, and so you assume that that means something. And I said this to y'all before. This is why motherfuckers was on Kenny and Janae. They love them down. Because they had all them cute little TikToks together. Hi, K Boogie. It was so cute. Everything you got to see from them was just so adorable. It was so loving. It was so much evidence. And for me, I was always like, but the way he looks when she talks. I agree to the person that said you saw it in the villa. In the villa, I was like, I told y'all this before. I used to tell the manager, I don't think he likes her. It don't give he likes her. Personally. Because people don't look for the micro expressions. They don't look for all the other stuff. We're talking about Kenny and Janae and how people like Triple K Kenny or Voldemort and Janae. People don't look for the other stuff. They look for the performance. But you gotta listen in them confessionals. You gotta look at how is he looking when they in there together. You know what I mean? He held his heart. Do I think that Janae knew a little? I would hope not. I agree, Jay. His eyes told on him every time. That's why I always like, nah. I would hope not. I would hope that she did not. Exactly, Erica. She did say that there were some things that she let herself ignore. And that her friends tried to say to her that she was like, no, you just don't know him like I know him. She did say that. And I've given y'all a video as to why. Both for subscribers. I gave y'all probably more. And I did give a video publicly as to why. But that's easy to do again. It's easy to... Clark is not that different than Janae in some ways. Because both of them, the allegiance to their faith, their Christianity, their religiosity, what that means about what a woman's ultimate goal should be, to be married, to be a wife, their reliance on gender norms, right? Because that's why some of these motherfuckers make excuses for 3D. Well, he buys her stuff. He provides for her. And because of this over-reliance on, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not even, it's the way that Christianity gets interpreted and regurgitated. And if you're not under good leadership and good teaching, what you then embrace as truth. But it's very aligned with patriarchy in a way that can be harmful if you're not careful. And so because of both of them, like that is the priority, then I ignore things, right? So Clark, that wanted her all white, clean, crisp house, where she was when they first left the villa, the conversation was, yeah, I'm going to show her how to be on the ranch. Oh yeah, but he's going to come to the city too. I'm going to show him part of my life. That ain't happened yet. That ain't happened yet. All she's done is fold into him. And if you're not careful, it will make you susceptible to things that you don't actually want. You don't really want that. But the title, what you think your role is as a woman, all of that matters most. That matters more. Charlene, I seen that clip, right? When she was like, I'm a good luck charm. Okay, girl. Okay. Like, when I want an all white house, you're not shoveling horse shit in your cowboy boots and then going into an all white house. She ain't about to get none of what she wants. And can y'all clock it with Kiki? Because Kiki, girl, you on your last motherfucking leg. You on the last toe of your last foot of your last leg. Sis.
Girl, I'm dead as a child.
When he says she better move to Oklahoma because I bought her a wardrobe. Huh? Huh? Her fucking Southern fried rice, her goddamn interview with Jonathan Majors, her interview with fucking Offset, her babying 3D. Kiki, you're pissing me off. It's giving male-centered. And it's so weird because I feel like we are seeing it everywhere right now. It's nothing wrong with loving black men. That's not about loving black men. What? Love also looks like correction. But see, y'all don't like that part. Y'all don't like that part. When my child goes to touch the hot stove, I love them enough to correct them and keep them from doing something to harm themselves because I love them. Love also looks like correction. Huh? But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that. Kiki, unfortunately, right now, and this is the danger of being male-centered. You will make safe space for harmful people. And I've said this on Ginger's Live before. If y'all have seen me on her panels before, something that I've said to the men before is like, y'all will be the ones that if you're not careful, you will not leave motherfuckers behind that need to be left the fuck behind. Leave them behind. Not everybody can go. Not everybody can be in community. Not everybody is safe. Not everybody needs to be in our space. Some of y'all motherfuckers are not safe. I don't need to. That goes back to what I said to y'all earlier. Some of these motherfuckers feel like just because they got an extra appendage that now they are valuable in the space, and you're not. You're not just because you have that extra appendage. No, you're not. You need to actually be a good human. And this is why sometimes the women you have to be left behind too. But you're making safe space for motherfuckers that are not safe. How dare you bring that motherfucker Offset onto your platform after the way he talked about his BM, his wife she's still technically his wife. Whatever you feel about Cardi, because I'm not a Cardi fan, but whatever you feel about her, how dare you platform that motherfucker when what you've already experienced as a woman, Kiki?
Exactly.
After Wendy Williams tried to front you and you said, but the gag is you wasn't there. So why are you platforming this motherfucker? We don't need to hear every fucking side. See them in the comments. We don't need to hear every fucking side. No, we don't.
It's okay, Wiggy.
Struggle love. Exactly. It's the struggle love. It's her saying, I didn't have that experience with R. Kelly. Kiki. Let me pull you for a chat.
Right. Let's go for a chat.
So it's like, I can't fuck with that. That's what being male-centered will get you. Y'all be the same. I'm mad now. I can tell I'm mad. Y'all be the same motherfuckers that be having the dangerous ass uncle at the barbecue because, well, we just, we love him. It's always two sides to a story. Why I oughta. So now you're not safe. And one of my favorite pieces that I recommend all the time is Sarah Deer, What She Say It Be Law. What She Say It Be Law by Sarah Deer. And basically what the research article is talking about, it's a philosophy reading, but what it's talking about is how indigenous practices before they were colonized, indigenous practices were when it came to grape, whatever the woman that was graped or assaulted said was what the ruling was. If it was, we gonna redact that motherfucker, that's what they did. If it was, we're gonna cast that motherfucker out, that's what they did. Whatever she said is what they did. And that's how I be feeling. That's how I be feeling. Not everybody can be saved. And when you're harmful to community, I'm always looking to the person that was harmed to tell me how they want me to respond. So you feeling like you need to platform and center the stories of these men simply because they're men? Nah. Mm-mm. Nah. You're watching that man harass that lady in real fucking time, and you feel like we supposed to listen to what the fuck he got to say? And I need people to get more on the bandwagon of the fact that more than one thing can be true at a motherfucking time. You cannot fucking like Cardi and you can still be like, and that nigga ain't shit. Both of them things is true. And so for me, when it comes to 3D, when it comes to men like Alan, when it comes to people that you see problematic behaviors, you can call that out. You can talk about that as a community. Are those the type of characteristics that we want to see in the men that we have in community with us? Yes or no? It's not that complicated. And that's it. And that's it. I did want to ask y'all. Oh, thank you, dark skin lover girl. I heard another creator say that there's no VIP in patriarchy. Say more. Y'all want to hear more? I did want to ask y'all. I'm thinking about doing panels outside of what I typically have already done. Exactly, Lady Russell hat. I'm like, listen, I'm fussing about her. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna want nothing bad for that girl, but I'm also gonna have to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and step back. Let me go ahead and step back a little bit. I can't. I don't have to put my support behind it. You know what I mean? Thank you, Lena. You sent me gifts earlier too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jim X Jim, I'll answer your question in just a second. If I don't answer it, will you remind me by just dropping it again? So y'all, I'm thinking about doing panels. I know that y'all are saying, yes, you love panels. I typically stay away from, that's what I'm about to get into, Lady Russell hat. I typically stay, hi, Natanya. I typically stay away from like debate talk. Because I feel like most of the people on the internet that be trying to engage in debate talk don't actually have the range for the conversation. I think that y'all know me well enough to know that any panel I would have with any sort of like controversial prompt, there's always going to be some level of education. Exactly, period. There's some level of education. There's some level of accountability. I definitely would have, y'all know it's strict over here. Y'all know it's strict over here. Y'all know how I do already, right? That ain't gonna change. That's not gonna change. But really what I'm curious about is, it wouldn't be no free for all. You can't just come up here and say whatever you want to say. I really think that my rules are probably going to be that my panels are going to be women only. And if you're a man, you have to pay to come up here. You have to pay to play. Because what I've learned being on the panel so far is that a lot of men come onto the panels looking for you to be group therapy. We're not doing that shit for free. You're not about to process your shit through us for free? No. You're going to have to pay to play. So I'm thinking about making it where men have to pay to even come up onto the panel. Definitely it being time limited for everybody on the panel to an extent. And yeah, my mutuals are so fucking brilliant. You know, my subscribers are so fucking smart that it's like, I do feel like, and y'all know that I say, whenever I'm talking about anything, it really is like, what can you take from what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, what can you then apply for your own self? Right. And I was thinking the same thing, period, as well. And so it's like, for me, the panels would be about, if you, I will, the panels would be for me, if you want to come up here and talk about this topic, you need to have the range. If you get up here with only opinion and you're not open to hearing new information, you have to go. You have to go, right? Because thank you for saying that, Star's Journey, because what we're not going to do is feel like our singular experience refutes the evidence or refutes the research. If we're talking about things that are unequivocally true, I will say that all of my panels are still going to be, y'all know that I say all the time, I'm here for the girlies, the gays, and the theys, okay? I am. So all of my panels, even if we were discussing things related to cis men, would still be about how do we center this conversation around my community that I've built over here and not around educating men. Too often I see these men get on these panels and they want to derail, they want to center themselves, they want us to educate them, they want to process their trauma through us, all that shit. No, we're not doing that. So I'm thinking about doing them. I would love for y'all to DM me and tell me particular topics you'd want us to talk about. And these would be like larger social issues, right? These would be like larger social topics. So I do want you to be engaged in, absolutely, period. And y'all know that I'm going to prioritize subscribers. Even if your subscription is no longer valid on here, like, hey, Boogie, I know that you sent me Natanya, I don't want to do political stuff. For me, I'm thinking about like more community-based conversations, right? Y'all know I'll be fussing about some stuff sometimes, but I be talking to y'all about the patriarchy. I be talking about y'all about, oh, that's a good one, user. I think that user. I be talking to y'all about, relationship dynamics, whatever. Yes, it will be uploaded. So like, I want y'all to think about like community-based issues that you would be curious about hearing around the same way y'all kind of do in here sometimes. Subscribers, even if you're not actively subscribed, if you sent me the thing that showed you subscribed for a certain amount of time, your topic will still be prioritized. You would really like me on your podcast, Lady Russell Hat? I don't have a link for booking. I probably should. Will you just DM me? And then I can give you an email to use. Jasmine, I'm laughing at your question. I'm laughing at your question.
Stephen A's an idiot. He's a fucking pure coon ass, shucking and jiving like where we used earlier for these white folks and these bum ass niggas. Pure idiot.
Very rooted in anti-blackness, his statement about Serena. Like,
for sure.
He said something along the lines of how he wouldn't want his wife dancing like that on at the Super Bowl when she danced with Kendrick when she was crip walking. Boy, shut up.
Like, you act like she was doing anything crazy, and even if she was, it's her. Let her live her best life, and her husband ain't got nothing to say about it. Why are you worried about it? You out of all people, your bum ass.
It was Stephen A. Smith, and he was talking about Serena Williams and her husband. He's not a Scorpio, he's a Sagittarius. Yeah, y'all. But we could get more thoughts about it. I will be back tomorrow with a live, so we can definitely talk about it more than Stephen A. is not married, which is the whole gag. Like, sir, you don't have a wife to be worried about what she's doing. Worry about yourself, you know. Star's Journey, that's so funny that you say that. Your husband rarely speaks, but when he does, he keeps it 100. Because that's literally been what people have always said about my husband, about Chris. He's so quiet, but when he talks, he has something to say. Do I actually believe the statement, those that cannot do teach? I don't know what that means. Explain it to me better, because explain it to me differently. I didn't understand. Yeah, her husband definitely clapped back at him. Jim, you had asked me a question. I feel like it was you that you wanted me to answer something. I don't remember what it was though. Will you drop it one more time? Oh, okay. Is Edmund dangerous in my opinion? I would say that, like, dangerous feels like a strong word to use. What I would say is that, and I say that, the reason I say that is because it's an edited TV show, y'all. So I'm aware that I'm only seeing so much. And according to KB and his sister-in-law that came into my DMs, what we're seeing on TV is not an accurate representation of him. So I feel like that's a strong word to say he's dangerous. What I would say is that Edmund is not emotionally safe. Hi, Alexander. I would say that Edmund is not emotionally safe. When you are not able to emotionally regulate, you're not safe for me emotionally, because you can't handle your own emotions, let alone mine. I also think that Edmund is not emotionally safe because of what he said at the altar. I've done everything for her. I did so much for her. I was so good to her. But you couldn't even go to the store and get no fucking belts and bandanas, motherfucker. Don't piss me off. You are not emotionally safe because you're not living in reality. So I would say that he's not emotionally safe, which is why KB was so frustrated by, we had this moment in the car and now you get out and you want to turn on like everything is all fucking hunky-dory. You're not making space for my emotions. You're not emotionally safe, is what I would say about him. He just was talking about how fine KB was. That man just knew he was about to hit it.
That's all he was worried about. He just knew it.
He just knew it's wedding night. I'm about to hit it. I'm about to get some cooter cat. And she was like, no. Hell no. So yeah, she gave a lot of grace to that man that in my opinion, he didn't necessarily deserve. And I think that she also knows how she was going to be perceived because like I said to y'all, they were in her comments talking shit to her, even though she was so gracious, but not in Allie's comments talking shit to her. So, you know, she was always going to get the flack. You know what I mean? But she gave a lot of grace to that man. She held his hands and walked him off, but he wanted a mother. He wanted a mommy.
Somebody, Jasmine.
I see your comment, Jasmine.
Wow.
Edmund wanted a mommy, and any man that wants a mother as a partner is not emotionally safe because there's never going to be space for me to need you because you're always going to need me, which is appropriate in a parental relationship. It's why I tell people, I'm like, you know, I'm my friend, I'm my kid's friend, but they're not my friend because I'm never going to them as I would a friend. That is emotionally inappropriate. They don't need to hold my shit. That not what I expect from a friend, I don't expect from my children. That is appropriate in a parental relationship. It should be more one-sided. That's not appropriate in a romantic relationship. So he is not emotionally safe. Thank you, Kerlin. Hi, Tashina. So yeah, y'all, I will have Chris post the live for y'all onto YouTube. I will be back tomorrow afternoon on live again. Thanks so much for playing along today when we were doing viewer wishes. Tomorrow we will be answering the questions that you've posted to the form. He's weird. He's weird, Jasmine. He's weird. And then we will also do panel tomorrow. Okay, yes, Lady Russell Hat, please DM me. Thank you so much. All right, love y'all down. Always good to be with y'all. Hi, American Dream. You too, my love. You too. What time period? That's a great question.
What time tomorrow?
Yeah.
Maybe around the same time. Maybe a little.
You want to go early again?
No, we can do like. I don't know what time is best.
No, we decide.
Okay. We went at 11 today, maybe 12, 1 tomorrow. What do you think?
Let's do 11. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain, 12 Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. I will go make an event for it right now. And then I'll make a video so that you can register for it. And then it should it should remind you. Miss Petty, that's how I roll. Like, even when I'm planning events with my friends, I'm like, no, I have to plan the thing that makes sense for me. And then if you can come, you can come. And if you can't, that's okay. But I have to, what am I willing to agree to? You know? Okay, love y'all down. See you tomorrow. Jasmine, I watched only a part of the first episode, girl. I can't even do it. I can't even do it. Okay, love y'all. See you. Bye.